And welcome back, everyone, to T1.Done. I'm spikevegeta. We're doing 2 days of awesome speedrunning for charity for JDRF, raising money for an amazing cause. We're a little bit behind schedules, and I know we got a longer run right here with the one, the only Ninten, one of the greatest Kingdom Hearts speedrunners of all time. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Heck yeah. You ready to start?
I'm ready to start, yeah.
So let's jump into Kingdom Hearts 2, level 1, 80% with Gunny Skip. I'll let you count it down.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So we're doing Kingdom Hearts 2 on critical mode, level 1. This is an incredibly difficult run, and there's going to be a ton of spots where I could just, like, die randomly. But we'll see what happens. It's a very sick run to watch because of how many just, like, tight moments there are.
Yeah, this game is already like pretty brutal in crit, just crit by itself. Then you throw the level 1 on top of that, you just down even more tools and resources and just damage output you can have. But this run's very sick.
Yeah, so right here, actually, we're doing an RNG manipulation. This RNG manip doesn't go that long, but we're basically manipulating the RNG for the first couple of dusks, actually, and this fight. So the combo I do here has to be pretty specific. Alright, I got it. So just basically the enemy actions and all the actions that you do as Roxas change the RNG value, and we're able to keep it up until there's multiple enemies on screen, and then there's just too much to keep it going. But it's pretty cool that we're able to manipulate the RNG. The RNG just starts at the same spot whenever you start the game. And right here on this dusk,
it's particularly helpful for this dusk.
Yeah, so he does this upside down walk, which does a ton of hits, and we can just die right there and continue the game. So there's like many fights in this game. Some of them are pretty weird, but there's a lot of fights where you can just die, and the game lets you continue. Even like in the cutscene, I'm pretty sure it doesn't really say anything about it. Like Sora just acts like nothing happens.
Do you actually get all the cash from that dusk? Because he drops like 800.
Oh yeah, you do. You do. Okay, you get like 100 money, I think.
That's nuts.
Helps out with the money you need for this, because we need some money from the jobs here. But we only need to do one job, and as long as you do it well enough, so we do mail delivery because it's the fastest, you can just talk to Hainer and continue. $658, pretty good. I think the world record is like a 640 or something.
I was wondering how low that got. I was already like, man, 658's cracked.
Yeah, it gets pretty fast.
I always like to bring up as a fun fact there, Demon, a long-time 3D Zelda speedrunner known for like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess and stuff, had the world record in specifically just the mail delivery of Cage 2.
That's funny.
I will also do my best throughout all of this, Ninten, to never make a rando joke. Like, oh, nice money.
Okay, yeah. I was going to make one about the dusk. Like, oh, that would be nice if you had... if you need that money for rando or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like jackpots, I think it increases the money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Oh, no. Okay, it's fine. We need to get 10 hits on that dusk. It's pretty hard to tell when you get a hit on him, because he doesn't actually like get phased by it. So we grab the sword here because those weapons don't affect anything other than your ability routing for when you level up. So because we're not leveling up, we don't have to worry about that. So you can just grab whichever one.
And from here, for like a lot of the dusks, Ninten is making sure that he doesn't use the finishers until he knows that it's going to defeat the dusk, as that will knock them away.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where the RNG drops. So now Twilight Town just going to be... He does whatever he wants to. So, oh, right there, that menu. So we start on critical mode, and with critical mode, you get, I think, like 9 abilities. We only use some of them because the Lucky Luckies are not that useful. We don't really need synth items. But we equip all the other ones, and one of them was EXP 0, so that's how we stay at level 1 throughout the whole game. If you played this game as a kid, then you wouldn't have seen that because it was only added in the Final Mix version.
Do you want to give a shout to Rip Tire for another $30? 2 beans. No, that's one donation. That's one bean I gotta do. That's one bean. Let's not get nutty. Anonymous, thank you for the $10 donation as well. Keeping them going, guys. $21.95. Who wants to snipe 2,200? It is up to you to decide. Whoever wants to do it, let's do it. On our way to $4,000 and that next X-Rocker headset giveaway as Ninten absolutely kills it here in Cage 2. How fun has been running this now that there's the Gummi Skip mod?
Oh, it's been incredible. Yeah, so we're doing Gummi Skip for the marathon, and it's my choice of running this game because there's a lot of ports of this game. There's like PS2, PS3, PS4, PC now, Switch, but we don't talk about that. So Gummi Skip on PC allows us to just skip. We just have a mod that lets us skip all of the Gummi missions, and they can't be sped up at all like they can be in other Cage games. They're just auto-scrollers, so we don't lose anything by skipping it. And it just saves us like 25 minutes throughout the whole game.
Yeah, that's nuts to think. That is 25 minutes of just dead time. Now we got this very specific Twilight Thorn fight right here. He can kind of count out when he knows he's going to hit him with the vines. And he either do the reaction command right there, or he can do just a little backup strat, like you see right there, and then just go right back in. Well done, especially with the whiff initially as he came in. That was a good adjustment on your part.
Yeah, so we try to get to a big air combo when he's coming down. At the beginning, I whiffed because I did it a bit too early. That fight can go really badly, and you can easily die there too, because as soon as you get hit, it tends to just get worse and worse. Like, that's the case for everything on level 1, where like as soon as anything goes wrong, it goes really wrong. So right here we got Hainer. We're just gonna knock him into the corner here. And thankfully, because of critical mode, we have draw, which makes the struggle matches way easier. So we're just gonna knock out all the orbs from Hainer here. And it should be okay. You got out of the corner, but that's fine. You want to get 200 because that ends the fight early.
Yeah, I remember the days, I mean, you did it as well, Cage 2 English, where you don't have draw or finishing plus here.
Yeah.
And ending these fights early was a nightmare.
So VV, we have a much more specific strategy, where we get him exactly to 0 health, which knocks them out. Right here, and then we can just grab all the orbs pretty easily. And now we're coming up to the next Dusk fight. We're gonna, so as Spike mentioned before, we're not gonna be doing finishers because that knocks the Dusks away. We like using the reversal command a lot as well because it kind of stuns the Dusks whenever they're on the ground. That attack they're doing right there is not a great attack because of how slow it is, and they become non-grounded. There we go. It's pretty good.
Nicely done. And while he doesn't have scan on right here, what you can just generally know is like the scaling of the different enemies. So earlier Dusks were like the level 1 variant, where you knew any 6 hits would get the kill. And then there, they kind of go up to like a level 2 variant or whatever you want to call it. So all of a sudden that is 7 hits. And now 1, 2, 3 combos on Axel right there. The sidestep of the attack, and then 3 more combos. That probably looks like Ninten just did a bunch of air combos and he beat him up.
That is like one of the hardest fights.
That's actually an incredibly difficult fight.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Because a lot of it is like, and I feel like this is the case with Kingdom Hearts 1 as well, doing quick optimal air combos is incredibly difficult.
Yeah. So I have to time, I pretty much time every input as Roxas now, especially, because if you try mashing it out, like you just can't time, if you mash it, you just won't go fast enough. You have to make sure you get like near frame perfect attacks. And yeah, we died to Setzer there. We do that because it's fast, but we also get the medal. And the medal gives you +1 strength, which makes, it doesn't make as big a difference on level 1, but it still makes a pretty big difference for a lot of things in the beginning of the game.
Anyone we talk about all the time with, like, obviously all the randomizers and stuff we do with, like, Cage 2 on this channel, where the Kingdom Hearts 2 kind of has this really well-balanced damage floor that if you're below it, it will just scale you up. So something like the metal will be very important, especially when you pop into, like, Valor form for a couple of these early worlds, where you can just get above that damage floor and do big increased damage. But yeah, after a certain point, it won't be doing any extra damage.
Yep, and then just got past the ball wall there. You just move left and then to the middle, the ball's always the same.
That is, don't ever screw up that ball wall, and then it becomes a nightmare.
Yeah.
Now you got definitely, well, would you say, what is harder, VVs or Shadow Roxas?
I would say VVs for sure. So where they spawn is completely random. Actually, so I actually counted out how many VVs there are, because I felt like there were different amounts each time. I was wrong, but it's funny enough, there's 14 of them. So it's almost a Cage number. I don't know why they added an extra.
Dude. They each have a different favorite org member. Why didn't they do that? Come on, man. Yeah, the only thing consistent about that fight is that the three of them will, like, initially do that little jump to the left. But after that, it's completely random where they're going to spawn, how you have to react to them. When they initially spawn in, they do that little taunting dance, so you can kind of work around that and then know from there they're going to do a jump away. So knowing when you can punish them and when you can't is good to know. Once again, optimal air combos are really hard to do. So this is going to look like, oh, Ninten's just jumping and doing air combos. That's really hard to do.
Yeah, so especially because Shadow Roxas is kind of like ducking, so he's a really short hitbox. You kind of have to delay your second hit a bit to make sure it hits. That's the one that usually whips. So now heading over to the bag, not too much here. I actually, so it's been a thing now where instead of mashing the triangle button, we time it as close to the trash can as possible because you can maybe skip another jump, which is kind of funny.
All right.
But we're just pressing triangle.
All right, while you're pressing triangle, I do want to give a shout out to Subasa Akari for the $15, then Eat a Second Bean, oh, I'll do it, Sparky Boy with the $50, and Anonymous with another $25 donation. Enjoyed watching the prep Ninten did for this recently. Good luck on the run. So I owe y'all 4 beans.
Thank you.
Just while Ninten's going through this, I'm just going to let y'all know how not. Oh my God, please. Oh, okay. Just. Yeah, let's hold up for it.
Yeah, sorry about the menu sound effects, by the way. I'm used to playing.
Dude, no, you got to. That's the speedrunner way.
Yeah. Neat little trick here. We walk to the skateboard and then go towards because it's like a frame faster. So we're just heading to the mansion now. A fun thing to remember is that if you don't know where to go, usually it's going to be the mansion or it's going to be the station. Like that's pretty much always the right answer.
Yeah, thankfully with Cage 2, it's mainly like when they drop you off, like there's not, if you hold forward, you're probably going to the right spot.
Yeah.
All right, gamers, while Ninten is making his way over to this next area, let's eat our first bean real quick. Cover me. We got pomegranate or old bandage. Let's go ahead and throw it in. I think I've had like 3 old bandages. That's 4. That's 4 old bandages. All right. That's 1. I'm on the line for 3 more. Let's cut back to Ninten.
So we're just dying here in this fight. It's another fight you can continue after dying. Level 1 does all of the death abuses, pretty much, because there's no reason to get experience.
Yeah, I would assume in regular crit, you still take that fight.
Yeah.
All right. While we're walking to the mansion, I'm either eating buttered popcorn or a rotten egg. I think that's this one. I'm going to say it's this one. Oh, baby, buttered popcorn. Let's go. 2 down, 2 to go. Let's spin another one. Rapid fire. Oh, where is this? Do I not have another one of these? All right, we're spinning again. Oh, no, that might be this. That's probably this. All right, it's either Tutti Frutti or Stinky Socks. Tutti Frutti! Oh, Ninten's bringing the good luck.
Let's go.
All right, and the last one we're doing for this group, it's either birthday cake or it's dirty dishwater, please God. Yo, birthday cake? Let's go! Ninten, you're the best! 3 out of 4 were actually very pleasant. All right, sick. Back to it. $15 donations, guys. I'll eat a bean. We'll do it. Keep
Have you had all the flavors yet, by the way?
Say what?
Have you had all the flavors yet or no?
I'm trying to see if I've done all of them or not. Honestly, usually when I do these, I only get the bad ones. I have not done a juicy pear or a booger yet. I haven't had strawberry banana smoothie. I haven't had the berry blue. There's a lot in here. I think those are like mostly the ones I have not experienced yet.
Uh-oh, that's fine. Alright.
Nicely done.
So, a neat thing about this fight that I wasn't able to do here, unfortunately, but it's actually pretty easy to make them blow up because the assassins just have a move where they blow up, and that is really fast on level 1. So, if you do it right, you can actually get them to do it pretty easily. And now we have Axel. First time they deal with as Roxas, and the only time we deal with it as Roxas.
Yep.
We do specific combos here, do the reaction command, which does a lot of damage. Watch this. And then we just do one more combo.
Yeah, that reaction boost doing big damage. The jump from 0 to 1 reaction boost is unreal.
It's huge. Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, the second one helps that you can get in, like, regular crit and, like, obviously, like, randomizers in places. But just that one, thank God they give it to us. I imagine it is very crucial for getting through, like, the Morning Stars fight and stuff like that. So.
Oh, yeah, and like, Katie's escape as well.
Yeah, all the hook bat RCs. Yeah. Thankfully, there's a lot of very good reaction commands in this game. Doing our first real menu here of the game. Switching.
Yep, so we're putting party members to party attack, which, if you didn't know, you can customize what they do. And I'm only having them on party for a couple fights, and then we're actually going to put them to relentless. And that's just because in the tower coming up, party attack is really good. And then after that, relentless attack is very good for Beast Castle. But right here, we actually want them to leave us alone because we want to die as quick as possible here. So we want the Dust to do the upside down walk that we forced earlier as Roxas. But that's alright if they don't do it. It just takes 3 hits.
Yep.
Ooh, money pouch. 5.
Hey, yo, let's go. Huge cash. I wonder if there's a Flare Force staff in the shop. Oh, no, we said we weren't going to do rando jokes, but here we are like, oh my God, hype.
Yeah, it's too late.
It's too late.
So this fight you can also definitely use too. So I just kind of walk towards them. There's like kind of a placebo trick that we think where if you move towards them, they attack you. I don't know if it feels very true, but
I've honestly always kind of felt that with shadows in this game. Like, I think you can kind of instigate a hit from them by moving into them, but it's weird. Yeah. Like, they almost input read when you go for an attack specifically. But if you just you just walk forward, they're like, oh, okay, I'll punch you. It's weird.
Yeah.
Picking up an ether back there. It's actually one of the only chests that Ninten will be opening in the run. In, like, original KH2 English, there were way more ether chests. They took most of them out of the game, it feels like, when it went to Final Mix. But ethers are very good. They let you do the fun stuff.
Yeah, so here's where party attack is good, because as we're handling some shadows, the party members will handle the other ones. We really want Donald to use Thunder on them because it does so much damage. And then, so when the shadows come out of the ground, because they go underground and you can't damage them at all, there is a frame where if you time it perfectly, you can catch them as they're coming out, because they will a lot of the time they'll actually go back underground again. But if you catch them frame perfectly, then you don't have to worry about that. So we have to get really good at that because they love to go underground.
Yeah, we're all going to be about 70 years old, still speedrunning Kingdom Hearts like 7. That's right. There'll only be like 3 more Kingdom Hearts that come out after 4 at that point. And we're still going to be like, dude, shadows suck. They're just like the ultimate like anti-speedrun enemy. You see right here, trying to instigate those cyclone reaction commands. That plus reaction boost does a ton of damage.
Yeah, so we tried to line up to get a triple hit on that cyclone. I think I missed one of them. But getting all 3 of them in that cyclone is really good. And you actually see we're doing a lot less damage here than we would be on regular crit because of level 1. Like, you can tell the damage difference a lot. Because the cyclone would normally kill, I think, just straight up the soldiers.
Yeah. Yeah, you feel it there with the tower, because up until then, like, you haven't really had the strength increases where, like, okay, things just die faster. Like, the shadows there in that first fight you had to do in the tower, now you have to 5-hit them, where normally just a combo would kill them with the strength increase. Yeah. So, like, every little stat increase to your strength or your magic is 2 points. You feel it a lot.
Yeah.
I want to thank you all so much. $2,285 raised for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation here as part of T1.Done. Let's keep it going, guys. I am eating beans. $15. They'll bring my dumb face on screen. I'll eat a bean. There's only so many. There's like 50 beans left in there. Please don't make me eat all of them. But if you can, that would be great for charity. Let's go in. We got our next fight right here. We get to show off Valor for him, which is great to jog with.
Yeah, it's very good for the movement. Right there, we use it to... We can die to that fight again, and that one saves a lot of time. The nice thing that you might not notice is that when you die as well, it skips the entire, like, ending victory fanfare. So that alone saves, like, 3 or 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah, I've never really thought about that.
Entering Bailey here. And now Bailey is actually one of the worst fights in the speedrun because it is the cause of like 90% of resets. It all comes down to what Leon decides to do. We want Leon to head towards the gate because all of the enemies are going to target the gate. And if he's not at the gate, he's going to throw fireballs like this. And the fireballs are very slow, they don't do much damage. And they can ruin our dual stances on the samurai later. So I'm gonna push Leon. We're doing the Leon push. It's not helping too much.
You can push? Oh my god.
Yeah.
I swear you can push every NPC in this game. Yeah, then you can
so you want to be here when the samurai spawn. Get the dual stance. Hopefully get another one. Okay, security system. Ruined it.
Oh. Yeah, it's going to pop a few of them out of that. This is another one where, again, you're feeling that reduced damage. You need 2 dual stances. Otherwise, you would just one-shot everything that gets caught in dual stance.
Yeah, this is actually pretty good. I almost didn't get that one. Alright. So we got a samurai, and now just that's. Yeah, so we got really good dual stances there. If they get screwed by the security system or Leon, it can get really ugly if they're not all together like that. And now Leon powering up is actually really nice. He does a lot of damage. That was a pretty lucky Bailey right there.
Yeah, that was really well done. The reaction to the 4th dual stance you did was really, really good. And then the Blizzard to specifically pick off that last creeper, the smaller enemy, because once they all die, that's what spawns in that final wave of 5 dusks right there. So yeah.
Yeah, so the game, this happens in a lot of fights. The game has, like, certain types of spawns. So, like, they'll usually spawn one set of enemies, and then only when those enemies are dead is when they'll spawn the next set, even if there are other enemies around. So that's usually how it works for, like, all of the waves. So you want to make sure you kill the specific right enemies to spawn the next wave.
I didn't know if you were going to put my webcam. Pop Poppy, say hi to the stream. She came in, she wanted to give her Papa kisses. Mwah. And yeah, this is where we first got to see the not seeing of the Gummi ships right there. As I'm just like, oh yeah, you're just in there.
Yeah.
This is usually where the run slows down a little bit. And like, nope, you're just going. Because like I always remember thinking like how intense the second visits are in Cage 2 runs. And a lot of that is because there are no breaks. Like you do a world, you go right into the next world.
Yeah, you just
like,
go.
So now the whole run is that. So I can imagine it can like almost get exhausting, especially in a level 1 scenario.
Oh yeah, just the hard part about this run is just keeping your cool and just like executing everything in one go is extremely difficult. So right here we have Thresholder. I don't think I put them to Relentless Attack, so this fight will be... You'll see how this fight may not be very good. Okay, no, I think they are. So we want them to focus on Thresholder himself, so that we can use the RCs on these gargoyles, like this. And then we Blizzard him to force out this Shockwave. And I'm going to try to time this to hit the bat, like I just did right there, so we get a Bat Cry. Okay, no, Donald ruined it. That's fine. We want to use Bat Cries on this guy, because Bat Cries are the best damage we can get. And it was crucial that we got the RC on the gargoyles earlier, because they take forever to kill without the RC, but the RC just one-shots them. So now we're just going to do about half his HP, get him back into the door. And now try to get the remaining bats to give us a Bat Cry. We can proc it by just hitting them once. And we just want party members to not ruin it.
This is also good because those orbs he shoots out can easily deal a ton of damage to you, and you'll just get really nice iframes through all of that.
Oh,
Popping
yeah.
into Valor form right here.
Yeah, so you actually get two shot, yeah, by like pretty much everything in that fight. So if you get hit, you gotta be really careful. But that worked out pretty well.
Yeah, super well done.
And on the gargoyles, I didn't mention it, but to proc the reaction command, we just have to guard them. So that's what we do at the beginning there. Now we do this minigame to light the lanterns. I think this is actually like much harder on Final Mix. Just a fun fact. And the original was like way easier. But you cut it kind of tight here.
Yeah, if you look up at his health at Lumiere's, or not Lumiere,
Cogsworth, I think?
Cogsworth's, yeah. Cogsworth's, like, grip meter right there. That's about what it was at the end of the minigame.
Yeah.
It actually gets, like, kind of close to running out.
Yeah.
They really didn't want you getting lost in this mostly straight hallway. It was awkward it didn't proc the horizontal finisher right there on the ground. It gave you the overhead.
Yeah, I was confused about that too. There's a lot of weird stuff like that.
Because the game definitely tries to proc whatever finisher like makes the most sense, whether you're looking for like a single target or a multi-target. So generally all the crates being there should, but it's whatever. It's weird.
Yeah, and that does matter a lot in some parts too, though, because one of the finishers, the like AoE finisher, the swipe, is less damage than the other finisher, and that can matter sometimes. So right here we're doing a ground combo on Valor form to get a lot of damage on Beast, and now we're gonna be interweaving in and out of range to proc an attack and do an air combo. So we just dodge the attack and then do an air combo afterwards.
That's sick.
Because he has super armor, yeah. And if I got hit, I think I would have died. It depends on his attack, but I was definitely one shot.
Yeah, jump attack, you're absolutely dead. But that's cool. That's a newer strat I wasn't as familiar with. Because I felt like usually, like casually, you would just use Cogsworth's little RC on him like 5 times to get through that fight. That's a good way to just cut all those out.
Yep. And that's the majority of well, that's like half of Beast Castle there. So now the next 2 fights can be pretty scary. I've had my fair share of having to recover them, so hopefully nothing too bad happens. There's actually a really cool strat here that I kind of popularized that we got from the TAS, where we're going to kill Shadowstalker much faster than we used to. Because this fight is very annoying, and he becomes vulnerable for a second, and then he becomes invulnerable. And that happens many times. So you just want to kill him as fast as possible. So we want Beast to do that charge attack here. Now we want to get maximum damage here. So I'm going to do 4 blizzards. Or 3, rather. I missed a finisher, which is okay. Swap out Beast for Donald, so we can get more damage when he goes into one of these pillars. So we don't want to wait another cycle, we want to get him right there. Now we're going to do a Blizzard into the limit, and we want to get a lot of damage here. We're going to try to kill him with the limit.
Yeah, Twin How really good for just keeping them locked down.
Okay, this is pretty bad damage because he got out of the corner, but I think it's okay, because I think we're going to kill him with an air combo.
Comes out.
There we go.
Nicely done.
So that's the fast
Yeah.
kill. Yeah, we used to wait for another chandelier because he was about to go into it right there.
A lot of what makes these early game crit and level 1 runs so hard for KH2 is you just don't have any of your tool set. Like, really, none of your combo modifiers have been collected yet. No boosts or anything. You're still rocking the Kingdom Key. Makes this tough.
Yep, so we're just gonna do combos on him and hope that the orbs don't hit us. Go straight into Twin How. Now, I want to get pretty good damage off this limit, and then I also want to delay my last triangle press right here to make sure that it hits so that I can get this combo off. Now we're going to go into Valor form, and we're going to jump over his retaliation, which is a swipe.
Oh, that's sick.
It's really important that we do that.
So many Valor hits.
Now swap back Beast, go into Twin How, and now he's going to do his quote-unquote DM, where he charges at us.
You just hope he doesn't move around too much.
And there we go.
Wow, that was such a cool
was a
fight.
fight. Yeah, so that is, there's many parts of that can go wrong. Like, there's pretty much every step of that process could have went really badly. So I'm glad that it all worked out.
Getting Cure right there, the best magic. So what is your, because people ask all the time, like, oh, why do you go Beast Castle first?
Yeah. Yeah, so we go, the reason that we do it in this order is because Beast Castle, well, actually, it's mainly for LOD, because in Land of Dragons, the damage floor, so like, there's a damage floor in this game where, because we're level 1, the game basically gives you a minimum amount of damage you can do depending on the battle level of the world, and that minimum threshold is dependent on your stats. So we want to go to Olympus first because we get Hero's Crest and we also get a strength boost. And those two will put us just above the floor in Land of Dragons. And so we won't be doing minimum damage, we will be doing more than minimum damage to Land of Dragons, and it makes it way faster. Whereas Beast Castle's damage floor is a lot higher than Land of Dragons.
Nice damage boost right there off of the Lancer, further up the ramp. And we did get a $15 donation from BC. Thanks for streaming for Game 2 Gift. Thank you so much. We are spinning. We're doing another Bean Gamers. We are doing, oh my God. Oh, Poppy, she's not happy about it either. She knows we got to do it. All right. It is another either toasted marshmallow or stink bug. Stink bud's awful. Please don't, please. We were not spared, gamers. It was the stink bug. I'm so angry. Get me off camera. That sucks. Thank you for the cherry.
That's it.
Which one is like the worst?
That
one?
That one's pretty bad. Honestly, the what is it? I keep going past it somehow. Oh yeah, you either got a cappuccino, which is pretty good, or liver and
that sounds
onions,
good.
which mixed with the
Oh
sugar
my
is
God.
awful.
That sounds
so
insanely
bad.
bad. Alright, so we got Haze Escape here.
Also insanely
another fight,
bad.
we get 2-shot. Yeah.
The real liver and
so I'll be
onions
doing something
of
really
the
fun here.
KH2 speedrun. No, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to first person mode because this will ideally teleport my party members. They're pretty far, but they're at least here. Now Donald wants to tank that, and we got it. Alright, so good luck right there. We killed those guys in 6 fires. Perfect. You want party members there to tank the hits from Hades.
That's so cool. I love
Yeah.
that strat.
That's it.
Now another back cry here to ideally kill everything. Got a hit, that's fine. This is bad. I'm just gonna play it safe. Here we go. Because I'm at 1 shot HP at that health. Want a back cry right here.
Yeah, this is his final wave of enemies. He's got the large body along with 2 more lancers and this bat.
I'll just do the limit.
Yeah,
This
the
is probably
limit's
the
a
easiest
really
way.
good like backup at the end of all this. Obviously, Bushido is pretty slow.
Yeah. Right there, that was like my only option because the large body, you can only hit them from behind. And he was the only enemy left, thankfully. But yeah, so you took care of him. That was good. That was pretty scary at one point. You saw how much damage a fireball does. If I get hit by anything else, it's just over. And that's also one of the longest deaths in the run. There's a couple deaths where you can lose multiple minutes.
Oh my goodness. All right, Ninten's going to be making his way up to Cerberus. Real quick cut to me while we're running up the ramp because Boogie Poppy donated $50, 3 beans, and a $5 tip with my compliments to the Bean Chef. We're just doing one for that. We're just doing one for that. Strawberry banana smoothie or dead fish. Please, God. Please, God. Frick! I hate everything. Ah! Good luck on Cerberus. I'm sure you won't die.
Seems like you're good luck right now.
Yeah, it really does. Oh, God, so bad.
Oh, I died.
I did!
No, it's
We're getting hit from every angle right now.
So, we die here to get Mickey on Cerberus. If you didn't know, I feel like we've done this like
We've
debate
done this
many
joke
many times.
35 times over the last
Yeah.
10 years. Yeah, it's just one of those where, like, if you wanted to try to dodge all the attacks, this is just a lot faster. You think about a lot of the damage you've seen so far. Yeah, all of a sudden Mickey comes in and he just doesn't deal with the same scaling and everything. His Pearl attack does so much damage to each of the heads.
Yeah, just way faster with the Poros. Fun fact, Mickey takes a lot more damage on level 1 than any other difficulty. I think because your defense stat is Mickey's defense stat or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we die in 3 hits. I actually was close to dying there as Mickey. But it's fine.
It's no biggie. Now, heading up our next section right here, we've got the urns, which, again, having the draw and the finishing plus also really helps for this fight. Like, the total amount of abilities that critical mode just gets to start with, which I think is what makes crit such a fun difficulty, is like, yeah, they're going to hit you really hard, but you get to start with a finishing plus that you otherwise wouldn't have until very deep into the game. You get a draw, you get a reaction boost, you get an MP Hystera, and you get that no experience. So
Yeah.
you can never level up.
Which I wouldn't recommend, by the way.
Yeah.
So
think
yeah,
that
the
was
urns
pretty
are they're pretty easy to get here. You want to destroy 7 urns because you drop 3. Quick math. And then right here, actually, fun fact about this urn: we didn't know this for a long time, like for over 10 years probably. Like ever since the game came out, the speedrunners didn't know. The way this works is that the first urn you break starts the timer on the second wave. And then the first urn you break after the second wave spawns starts the timer for the next wave.
Oh, interesting.
So we want to break an urn ASAP as soon as we start, and then as soon as the next wave spawns. And then that spawns the big urn faster.
Yeah. From here, Ninten's mostly just trying to clear out enough space to where enough other urns will spawn in, including the big urn. And yeah, if your collection rate is good enough there, you don't even have to worry about hitting the big urn.
Yeah.
Again, a lot easier with having that draw and the finishing plus because they'll only blow up 2 finishers. So getting to do 2 quick ones back to back like that, give you a lot of orbs very fast.
And there's
But
a
yeah,
strength
that's
boost we
cool.
need.
That was found. Hey, a power.
Yeah,
boost.
that was fun by VG Master, who's actually has all the world records right now for PC. So that's pretty cool.
That's sick. Yeah, VG, one of the runners. I don't know if he wanted to get into Cage 2 for like speedrunning in general, is like he's kind of one of those that came along in the rando community.
Yeah,
You
he
might know
started
him.
with randomizer, and then from randomizer, he picked up the speedrun really quickly.
Yeah, VG, very, very good.
He's making our way over here. So actually, I want to look out for Don and Goofy's health here, because we want Donald to use fires on the water clones, and if Goofy gets hit, then I have to cure him, because otherwise Donald is going to cure him, and then he won't have fire.
Ow.
So just a small thing to look out for.
Dance, water, dance.
So Donald Fire is really nice to have here. We only have it on level 1 because we did Beast Castle first. And we're looking for a 50 on the clock when we finish this minigame. That's like a pretty good Demix minigame. It's pretty random where the RCs go. There's not a lot I can do.
Yeah, there's a reason it's called Wild Dance. You mainly want to just see Sora basically stand on top of Demix wherever it goes.
Yeah.
Because that's obviously going to be where the water clones are also spawning from, so you can catch way more of them when they're coming out.
Yeah, so you don't want to be going away from him. But like I said, there's not much you can do. You just kind of have to do it.
Get the
Now,
Olympus
coming up on
Stone there, a plot item which allows you to actually use like your dry forms or if you had summons or anything.
Yeah. So on this fight, it's just a timed fight. I think it takes like a minute. And the only purpose of killing anything is to get money. So I don't spawn any other enemies because I just don't want to die here. I've died here like once, and that was enough for me. Because the money isn't that important. You need 120 money for each ether, and that'll come into play much later on. But getting the extra couple money from the soldiers doesn't make a big difference. So I'm just gonna loop him here.
Yeah, in particular, I've seen for like in just like regular crit runs where they get. I mean, they're going like EXP boosting early, like every single fight, trying to maximize the amount of enemies you kill in order to get as much money as possible from like the soldiers and whatnot. It's pretty tight how much they've tried to push it in all these categories.
Oh yeah, the EXP routing has gone very tight on the other categories, and it makes level 1 a breath of fresh air that we don't have to worry about it. We just gotta go. And now this fight is very easy to die to, because if I get hit by the ghost, I have to potion twice to not be in one-shot range. So you want this back cry to hit some of the ghosts, at least.
Oh, it's a nice double finisher from the Valor to like reset. Otherwise, he was going to pinball right there.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Alright, so I'm gonna have to take the reaction command here, which is fine.
Yeah.
There is a lingering hitbox on that boulder, so if I came out of the shield too fast, that would have killed me, probably.
Super well played.
But yeah, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, very, very easy to take a death there. And that entire, effectively just auto-scroller phase with Pete, Ninten would have had to go back through all of that if he had taken a death. OC is like a very common, like, since the beginning of time with KH2 crit speedruns, just like the murderer of runs. Very easy to take a death in Hades Escape, in Pete. Could take one here on Hydra.
Neat trick here. Get hit to get launched up and then do Otama.
Oh, that's sick.
It's really cool. We're at low HP, but that's fine, because we'll grab some HP orbs here. So, we want to get enough drive to go into Valor form again. So we're going to do this reaction commands. And then we're going to pick up all of the orbs here. And now start taking down the heads. Don and Goofy are not helping very much. But that's fine. You should have enough drive. So ideally, we're not going to use any ethers here at all. Alright, I'm going to line this up. Now, I go into MP recharge and then pick up the drive orbs to get a few more, like a boost there. Use Ultima. That doesn't look like it hit too much. So this is probably going to be a bad Trinity. That's actually not too bad.
Got about 75% left on the bar, and it is completely random which head pattern he gave Ninten right there. This one is actually technically the one where he's got his heads down the shortest amount of time, but it looks like a lot of Trinity was in right there. Very nicely done.
So if you don't know how Trinity works, we just got it. The 3 parts of Trinity that you can do don't actually do any damage, but they get hits, and then the hits do damage on the ending of Trinity. So what we're doing there is trying to get as many hits as possible, mainly with Ultima on the heads, and then getting the finisher to do a lot of damage right there. So when he did the head pattern where 2 of them were next to each other on the ground, I did Ultima in between 2 heads to try to get maximum hits there.
All right, Ninten, I'm gonna trust you for the poo mini game. My pizza just got here. I'll be right back.
Oh, pizza.
Yeah, we've been doing this all day.
All right, so right here we're just going to 100 Acre. This is the only time we'll be going to 100 Acre. There's another fight coming up here. In this fight, we are also going to Death Abuse. So the soldiers, ideally, they don't move around and they just do an attack, because then I can get hit by it and die just like that. So that was good luck right there. They never do that for me in runs. So I'm happy they did it now. After this, we're going to be heading to LOD, Land of Dragons, and that's where you'll see the strength boost makes a pretty big difference. We'll be doing a lot more damage than we used to, because we just got Hero's Crest. So, quick menu right here. There's Hero's Crest, took Ping's Ether. I let Ping keep her potions. I'm hoping that if I'm at low HP, she'll throw them on me, because she tends to, but we'll see. So on these shadows, we have Thunder, which is very nice to have, because we got it from Olympus. It's really good for picking up the shadows. She's getting carried away. Aw, Donald used fire right there. That was pretty troll. Donald will sometimes use fire when an enemy is like just out of reach of the fire.
Obviously, Thunder's got that pinpoint accuracy. Much rather see him just spam that. Yeah, I'm sure Ninten already brought it up, but yeah, Hero's Crest is going to be a lot better for this with that air combo boost and just that 1 extra point of strength over the Kingdom Keep.
Yep. I whiffed right there, unfortunately, but that's fine. That's fine. So, Vader form is even more powerful because we have the other Keyblade, which means that our damage is even better. So we go into the second mission first, because of the Assault Riders. The Assault Riders die much faster with Vader form. And we have some of it left over for mission 1, which is nice. And then we'll be trying to build up our drive to get to 3 by the time we finish all of the missions. So right here, I'm going to keep Goofy in for a bit, even though Donald is more useful, because I want to build my drive up. We want the shadows to be odd together with the fire. The issue is that they don't die to 2 fires on level 1. They die to like 1 extra hit after fires, so it's a bit harder to kill them. And there we go. Swap in Donald to help out on the last part right there. Nice. And you can swap in party members on the command menu. Some people don't know that.
Yeah, it's very useful, especially the amount of swapping you do, particularly in these fights.
Yep. Hoping Donald takes care of that, right, Donald? There we go. So this is a fun strat that that's been found somewhat recently, where we destroy all the tents, and then we just gather all the shadows come towards us.
I remember like thinking, I was like, should we just like kill? Because again, they all chain together, all the tents. So like it just clears all this dumb space with the shadows. That's sick.
And then it also helps right here because there's nothing in the way of the Nightwalkers.
All right, my dog is barking. I think my pizza is now here. I'll be right back. Best of luck on the summit.
Yep. So we're gonna do a cool strat here. We target this guy, target switch, and then do a finisher like this. And now this should kill this soldier right here. Yep. Kill all the enemies there. Now we're gonna use the RC at the right time to get that hit to hit both Nightwalkers, and then break through the boulders. And now we just have to do the last boulder right here. The Assault Rider spawns, but again, the RC hits stagger him. Alright. Heading into cave fight right here. So this guy, the Assault Rider, I have to do a near frame perfect air combo on him. And I have to do it for all of the Assault Riders. So this finisher right there has to be, the second finisher of the second combo has to be frame perfect, or else he'll break out of the air combo. So that is really hard to time, but you got it right there. Now I'm just going to sit in a corner, wait for them to gather up, then do fires. And then do a Trinity. And this should get all of the shadows. There we go. Alright, one more. There we go. Yeah, so we used to do a long combo where we did like upper slash and did like kept them staggered that way, but if you get really, really fast combos, you can just keep them infinitely staggered in the air combos. Now coming up onto the summit, which is just 1 minute of trying to survive the fight. We don't worry about EXP, so the only thing we have to worry about is money. And there's a fun trick you can do here to prevent anything from spawning for the first like 30 seconds. So there's gonna be a boat tower here. We're gonna kill this guy first. And now I just move into this corner. I kill any remaining of these guys, and because everything is off screen, we can just sit here and nothing will spawn.
Will this still spawn the bolt towers in
It
at
will,
the
yeah.
normal time? Okay.
Yeah, so we just wait.
So that's
Right when
good,
it
because basically the rapid thrusters aren't doing anything for you. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just waiting until it hits 30 seconds. And then they spawn in here. Now we get the money. Again, the money I don't think is hugely important, because basically if you miss like a lot of money, you're probably only going to miss out on one ether. The ether routing is like pretty tight, but I feel fairly comfortable with it. There's a lot of ethers I can save at the end of the game if I need to. It's just kind of like a luxury to have them. We got a good amount of money here too. And now one more quick menu. This menu is pretty small. We're just gonna put on slide dash.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the world where, like, I complain about whenever I don't have a gap closer or anything. I'm like, man, level 1 pushes that back so much.
Yeah, you don't have it for a long time.
Slide dash, flash step, and the finishers are what make... Because KH1, it was always you wanted to use air combos, basically.
Yeah.
And until the inclusion of the gap closers and the finishers, that was still the case in this game.
Neat damage check here. Slide dash into hit from that Assault Rider to push us. And now another neat movement tech here. Slide dash and then swap in Donald. And that kind of cuts the end lag of the slide dash right there. So I'm going to get hit by the front Nightwalker. And then use Major Drive like this. And that pushes us backwards to behind the other Nightwalkers so that this kills everything.
Oh my god, the strats have become so creative. What y'all have found? Is
Yeah,
a lot of
it's
this like
pretty
the VG era, or what is it?
Yeah, it's a lot of it is from Logic as well. But me, VG, Master, KBM, Slick, Crystal, there's a lot of level 1 runners, and we've all been like really deep diving into the run. Because like now we kind of like, we have a lot of things down to a science now. I'm gonna let him swing here. Oh, actually, okay. So what happened there? I might die. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I can show off the strat property this time. That's our first death. So what happened? What went wrong there is that I want to get a reaction command. I want the reaction command to kill 2 Nightwalkers. I only killed 1 right there because I mistimed it like very slightly. Which is what I was saying before. Like any small mistake can really snowball. So now I'm gonna wait here, and then get the other reaction command here. Swap out Donald. I actually whipped some of those Valor hits intentionally so that I could get this phase skip where he just insta powers up like that. Because you want to hit his HP gate right as he's retaliating right there. Okay, this is fine. I made a small mistake there. I'm worried about the gate. We think the gate's gonna survive.
I think you're good. I'm gonna
yeah,
believe you're good.
We're good. It's fine.
Nice.
Pretty risky there.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because there were 3 of those on top of it. Were you? I didn't see the very beginning of that attempt. Did you not kill them?
No, so those are actually supposed to be there. Because we wait out the summon. So we kill 2 of them, and then we let him summon them. And then we parry him. And we let him summon because if you don't let him summon then and go for a parry right away, then it's random if he attacks you or not. So by virtue of the way we do the strat, he's going to summon them, and that's why I have Mulan on Technic Attack, because she's supposed to handle them for the most part. But yeah, so it worked out. It was fine.
But out of the early game, this is kind of where I view this starts the mid-game portion now all the way through 1K.
Yeah.
So, Ninten absolutely killing it so far. Gamers, again, we are here with T1.Done, 2-day speedrunning charity event, raising money for an amazing cause in JDRF. And I see another donation, I believe, just came in. Let me give that a whole refresh. Up to $23.75, as we got a $25 donation from Needlekind saying, let's go. Needlekind, all right. I just had a piece of pizza. Surely I can get another one real quick. Boop. Oh, God, okay, okay, pomegranate.
Leaning in here to push the mouse, I find it a lot easier this way.
Oh,
Okay.
right on top of
That
the
was the hard
screen.
mouse button. Yeah, that was tough because I got hit at the beginning. Well, we pushed her and we pushed the mouse. So
Yeah,
it's fine.
that is a very difficult technique. People have seen us try to do a lot of times on this channel. All right, it's like our 5th attempt. Surely this is pomegranate. Please, God. No, it's not. There are no pomegranates in this box.
I don't think there are any. Yeah, there was just none of them. It was a
Come
trick.
on, dude. Why? I mean, they surely don't count them right. I guess I have to make sure there's a certain amount of nasty ones in them. I don't know. Get me off screen.
I don't know if they even know which ones are the nasty ones.
Right. They're probably, their taste buds are just shredded by the time they're done teching all of it. Thank you all so much. We are $25 away from 2,400. Let's keep it going, gamers. Let's keep it going. Keep pushing deep. Working towards that $4,000 on that next X Rocker headset giveaway. All right. I have had my dinner. When I come back, I will read more donations. It is time, chat, for me to go give the dogs some dinner. I'll be right back in this all-day charity event. Be right back.
Ooh, we got a spooky money count. All right. We're just going to head over to Hollow Bastion real quick, and then we'll head back to Disney Castle. So, it's so nice to not have gummies in here, because the gummies would have added like an extra 10 minutes to the entirety of early game. So if you die to like Olympus, for example, that gummy mission is like 4 minutes long. So just so nice to be able to skip that now. If any of you are looking into getting into speedrunning this game, I'd recommend you join the speedrun Discord, which is discord.gg/KH, I believe. Otherwise, you just look at on speedrun.com. Actually, it's better to go there. And alright, so we got Old Pete down. So starting out on window 1, we're going to be using Chicken Little a lot from here on out. So we're going to summon Chicken Little and do 2 fires into 2 thunders. This is going to be a common combo that we do because he does firecrackers while we're doing the thunders, which is a lot of damage. I'm going to get a Blizzard in here because the reaction command is not enough to kill them on its own. So that Blizzard helps by killing that wave. Got 1 RC. Okay, I missed the second RC, but that's okay. It's really hard to get 5 RCs there. It's actually one of the hardest things in the game. And that's fine. So we'll be back there at the end of the world doing the RCs again, and it'll be really important that we get 5 RCs when we get launched up. I'm gonna summon Chicken Little here. And now we'll be doing a few different types of combos. We're just going to be knocking them away so that Chicken whistles them again. Then we're doing the Fire, Fire, Thunder, Thunder again. This time with an Ether. Because I like to have magic for the rest of this. So he was able to whistle them all, which is good. The planes, if they're not whistled, it can go south really fast. And this is the last enemy right here. So that went really well. If the planes don't get whistled, they start doing this like the attack where they fly everywhere, and it can kill you super easily. So right here on window 4, we do this window first because we're going to be ending the 3rd window without our summon. And the way that drive works in this game, if you're wondering how I'm able to use so many drive-consuming tools and never run out, it's because we always use them when either we're beating a world and we get our drive back anyway, or when party members are out of your party. And when that happens, like right in that room right there, you get your drive back if you had a drive or a summon out when you ended the last fight. So like when I enter that room and I have a summon out, I'll get all my drive back. So we use that a lot throughout the run. And that's why we're doing this window last, because we're gonna dismiss Chicken Little. So these car enemies are a lot of casual players' worst nightmare, but they're really easy to take down with Chicken Little. And we're gonna use Trinity Limit to take out the rest. So that Trinity does a lot of damage because we get a bunch of hits on the fires, because of the small fires that are around that building. Now coming up, we have Boat Pete, which is one of the most annoying fights in the run, because it's just after early game, and if you get really unlucky, you can get thrown off and have to do a second cycle of the junk right here. And that loses, like, near a minute, so the run's kind of dead at that point. So this is a cause of a lot of resets. Like an hour into the run, so it's pretty bad. But getting to 1 cycle isn't too bad. It's just the timing of the reaction command right here. So we have to... I'm going to pause buffer to make sure it doesn't pop up right there. So if it pops up at the wrong time when I do my finisher, then I just can't grab it. This is fine so far. So each finisher I do is like pretty risky, which is why I'm not doing finishers after the second finisher. This is looking good so far. Party members are a big part of this too. So Donald having Thunder and Fire on is the only reason he does damage to that, because we used to always get 2-cycle, but we learned that if Donald has Fire and Thunder equipped, then he actually does a lot more damage to the boat. For some reason, it's just like the way his AI works. Let's see what pattern he gives me at the start here. Alright. This is one of the hardest fights, just because we're going to be doing an air combo while he's retaliating like this. And that air combo is pretty hard to time. So I mistimed it right there. That didn't matter too much. Oh, Giffy died right at the last second. That's fine. I'm a bit worried about him dying again. We're doing Trady here to remove the fires and just kill him in this wave. That wave is really scary if you don't use Trady limit. Okay, I keep dropping my combo. But that's okay, as long as I don't get hit. Because you get 2-shot here. Which is the moral of level 1. There we go. Alright, so Goofy's dead again. That's okay. I'm gonna have to res him. I drew an ether, that's fine. There we go. Yeah, so I just had to do really fast menuing there to res Goofy to go into Vader form. Now here, it's really important we get 5 RCs. I just mash it really hard. And then right here we can do a fire. There we go. That fight went okay. Goofy kept dying, which is pretty rare. Goofy doesn't usually die in that fight. That's why we have the potions. The potions are really important to have because of party members. Like, not only for safety for Sora, but party members die a lot.
All right, I only missed the entirety of Timeless River. Just give me the lowdown. How'd it go?
It went all right. It was all right. Nothing crazy. We got 1 cycle on both.
Yo, let's go. Yeah, there was a not that long ago, that was thought to be like basically just completely RNG, like no way you were gonna get it.
Yeah. Oh, a neat trick here. That slide dash just ends the fight right away. We used to do like 2 blizzards or like a slide dash fire. You just do 1 slide dash.
Oh, is it specifically because
it's
slide
like,
dash technically hits multiple times? Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens, I think, is that there's a bomb pirate there that we slide dash towards, and there's another pirate behind him. So you slide dash into not only 2 pirates, but I think you hit the bomb as well.
Oh,
and that counts. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's sick tech. Get to see some Chicken Little action right here. I'm sure you saw a little bit of him in the last world. But yeah, he draws all the enemies in, which is so convenient specifically for this fight right here.
Yep. Just use fires. Thankfully, 2 fires kills most of those enemies. We're using Chicken Little a lot in this world as well.
Yeah.
Big menu here,
Yeah,
actually.
this is definitely where Chicken Little gets to shine. 2 primary summons get to shine in a level 1 run. Chicken Little, and later on, Genie gets to big shine.
Yeah, Genie is actually my favorite summon. We get to use him a lot here.
Let's go.
Or Chicken Little action right there to do the ambush. And we're coming up on the minute fight, which is just a 1-minute auto-scroller again. This one, I aim to kill 12 pirates to get good money. But not too much else other than just surviving it.
Yeah, gamers, and once again, we're here for T1.Done. It's been an absolutely incredible first day here. 2003. Oh, literally, as I was talking about, another donation came. $2,400 on the dot. There's a good $25 there from Please Ignore. My sister is diabetic, so I know the struggle people face. Glad to help out a good cause. Please Ignore, thank you so much. And you know what? while Ninten is making these pirates cry, let's make me cry too. I'm gonna spin this wheel and see what happens. Oh God, okay. I have not had the not toothpaste yet. Berry Blue, Void got to have it earlier. Let's see if I get to join him in the happy camp.
Toothpaste doesn't sound that bad though.
It's toothpaste. Yeah, so I brought this up earlier. Let me swallow this bean before I tell her. So yeah, toothpaste is, I was saying with Void earlier, toothpaste is something that, like, hopefully we all, that goes into your mouth, and it's refreshing while it's in the teeth portion. That's the saving grace about it. It's when it's going down the throat where you're like, oh, that's not where that's supposed to go, dude. Come on. Yes, that's it's a little bit different going down the throat. But please ignore. Thank you so much for getting us to $2,400 on the dot. Gamers, it's on our way to $2,500. We're taking $100 at a time. And again, anything at least a $15 donation, I will suffer with a bean. So keep them coming in, chat. Thank you all so much. I love this community. Y'all are doing great. And I love watching Ninten do speedruns of Kingdom Hearts 2. This will literally never get old for me. We take on the boat fight. This is kind of historically one of the scariest fights.
Yeah, so what I did right there's actually a lot going on. So I killed both pirates on like the same frame, and that spawns these pirates in a different order. So we wanted to get that bomb pirate when we did. And it spawns the other bomb pirate right there. So we've already eliminated every pirate on the bottom section of the ship, which makes the rest of this a lot easier. So now we have to take these guys out. And we have one more ether, and we just use it on these guys. And that's
so sick.
Yeah, so when one of the waves spawned, we caught them as they spawned and just did blizzard to line it up. So like we lined up a blizzard on them. It was pretty cool. We also use the cannon RC because the cannonballs will stop the pirates from... Well, the cannonballs hit the pirates and makes them run around, and they're like invincible during it. So you want to ignore that. Avoid that.
The infamous barrels. I have died on these barrels in rando and in speedruns more times than I like to admit.
Yeah, thankfully the strat that I do there rarely fails, but it feels like any strat you do there can fail.
Yeah, that's a completely different order than I've ever seen. I kind of want to try that next time. Just going straight up to that one that we usually do last.
Yeah.
Maybe just bait the enemies in different ways. Using Valor Form here primarily, once again, so you can just jog through this. Here in another world, we will finally learn Quick Run, which will be our primary mode of transportation. But Valor can also potentially be a little bit useful here, just for the opening of the Barbossa fight.
Yeah, also, I want to point out that this is a very hard fight with the strat that I'm doing. So we're going to proc an retaliation here, and then use reflex. We're going to do this over and over again. The reason it's scary is because Jack dies in 2 or 3 hits, depending, and if he dies, the fight is over, you lose. So if he gets hit, I have to pushing him right away. He's safe for now. Gonna swap out. And use Blizzard. And we're out of the scary portion. So now we're just gonna proc another retaliation. Reflect into Comet. And use Comet Rain while he's doing his attack. There we go.
Nicely done. That was beautiful.
Yeah, so there's a lot to keep track of there. Like if Goofy gets hit, I have to push him to...
Just constantly leading all of his attacks away from Jack.
Yeah, and also...
as if like crit and level 1 weren't like hard enough to keep you alive, you all of a sudden have to keep a party member alive? God.
Yeah, and the shadows, he wasn't really in the shadows at all there, but it makes him invincible like the pirates. So you have to avoid that too. Just die right here.
Yeah, one of the last fights, maybe the last fight, you can just take a death in.
Yeah, one more. And
oh, that's right.
Yep. Now, this menu is actually not that long anymore.
I was going to say, it seems like it mostly got fused into the Port Royal menu.
Yeah. Actually, I forgot one thing. want to have 2 ethers and 2 potions. So we're going to be leveling wisdom a lot in this world. Not right now, but we'll be doing it later on. And we're going to try to hit level 3 wisdom, because then we'll have this quick run ability that we're using for movement as base throw, and we can use this throughout the rest of the game. So in the meantime, we'll be using Wisdom Form for its quick run.
Yeah, which will also be extra nice, because just by leveling up your forms, their movement also inherently just gets better. So like Wisdom Form in level 3 will have a nice, fast quick run. More akin to what like a quick run level 2 would be outside of Wisdom Form.
Yeah. Oh, you can also push the monkey.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I always do it in randos. I'm like, I don't know if I'm ever actually pushing him. It's a little harder for sure in the like wavy Wisdom Form.
There we go. Oh, I got the phase skip. Let's
Let's
go.
go.
I skipped 1 jump. That's really hard in Wisdom Form.
Nice. Yeah, that successfully tells me I've never actually done it. Because I was like, oh, I've never seen that phase skip. That's sick.
So we're actually going to kill 4 of these enemies in Wisdom to make the Wisdom grinding a bit easier later on. I also want to grab MP orbs if I can. I missed a lot of them there. Okay, should be fine.
Yeah, between Barbosa and these fights, you're really starting to see now where Reflect gets to really take over. Especially at lower levels. Reflect's damage, you can just see, just goes a cut above the rest when you're on low tools, low stats.
Yep, so throw an ether right there. Take care of the fat bandits the same way. They can give you 2 different RNGs. The one I just got right there is the one we want, where he punches. So that was good luck. You want both of them to punch. And because Aladdin is dead, we don't get any anti-points, which we haven't gone over anti-points yet. But if you go into a dry form, you usually get an anti-point, unless your party members are dead, or a few other circumstances, like you don't have party members. And if you reach 5 anti-points, then your next form has a chance of anti-form. And we avoid that for the whole game. We do force anti-form at the end, but we avoid it whenever we don't want it with the anti-play routing.
Yeah, it's definitely one of like the more impressive pieces of routing that went into KH2 speedrunning was to do all we could to avoid ever seeing anti-form.
Yep, so we got our drive back right there by doing reflects and fires, because that brings your drive back extremely fast. Okay, this Trinity didn't hit much at all, which is not ideal. This guy might survive this Trinity, but that's fine. As long as it's just him that survives, it shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah, as long as you can isolate just one of them.
That's fine.
Okay, yeah, they all died.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, definitely what makes that scary is all 3 of those fat bandits, by the way, that's their name, I'm not making that up, they all hit very, very hard, and you're obviously in an extremely tiny room. So as long as you can clear at least 2 of them, then you can kind of kite around the other one and get the damage off. Now we go into the boss fight of
Agrabah,
reflects the Lords.
Right here. Okay, I was trying to catch him before he did his attack, but that's fine.
A lot of the Lords here have very specific HP barriers that you're just trying to break to get to the next group, so you kind of just go back and forth between them.
Yes. And we want Goofy to be alive so we can go into Vader form here, which also breaks apart the globes, which is nice. I have to res Donald as well, because you want to use Comet at the end. So right here. This should be okay. Alright, yeah. Now we're gonna use Comet Rain at the end of the fight here. while he's doing this attack, because he's super armored, so it's not knocking him around, it does a lot of damage. There we go.
Nicely done.
Yeah. It's a shame we had to use 2 potions there. I've had to potion party members a lot, so I might have to take more potions later on.
Yeah, thankfully there's at least, I mean, Jack's got his 1 potion you can take.
Yeah, and then we can get one from Tron.
Hmm.
That's about it, though.
Super deep, like maybe some of Riku's potions.
Yeah, Riku, I've had to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, stealing world-specific party members' items is what's allowed. For the most part, runners have been able to cut out having to pick up too many potions and ethers from chests and whatnot. When you're starting off, there's a lot of really easy potions and ethers you can pick up, just so things aren't out as tight.
Yeah.
Give me strength.
Bringing out Genie right here so we can do the best thing in the world. Nothing. Anybody else is in here, they're gonna mess with stuff.
Yeah, they're gonna mess with the White Knights, I think they're called.
And yeah, so
we hit level 3 wisdom in the treasure room, by the way, because there's so many globes there. So we have quick run now.
Yeah, it was one of the nicest things they did when the game got converted to Final Mix, is they made, like, you needed like half the amount of Heartless to be killed to reach level 3.
Yeah.
Because in like Cage 2 English, like the movement in that game was basically just you kept popping into Valor or Wisdom.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, this is bad. Okay, I'm worried about this guy, and then I'm worried about that guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say the dude underground. Don't underrate them; they absolutely can take you out.
Yeah, he would definitely kill me, but it's fine.
Yeah, and what's good about Dance Call? One, it deals a ton of damage, but also it has like a magnet, almost similar to Chicken Little's ability.
Ooh. I got the animation. I got so there's a skip there you can do. If you end the limit at the right frame before the fight ends, you skip the entire victory animation. I don't know why it happens. It's a pretty weird thing. But on that fight, you can
save a couple seconds. Nicely done. And now we go into, I think, another one of the hardest fights. At least in the earlier game.
Yeah, and also, it's RNG which kid he eats at the beginning, and we really don't want shock because it makes the fight a lot harder. At least it makes it harder to go fast. So, let's see which kid he eats. I think that's shock, yeah. That's fine. So this is the opening we do for shock. Thunder to knock him down. Get some air combos. Do one more. Now go into Dance Call. Now we're gonna try to get through the next 2 phases with Dance Call alone.
Yeah, trying to hit those HP barriers. So now he's transitioning. He's in the beat up phase. Trying to get him all the way pushed to the next eating of the kid.
There we go. That was a really good Dance Call.
Really good.
Sure.
Once again, you see how strong. Limits feel even stronger. Oh, and then you go right back into it. Nice.
Yeah, and we just go straight into... We use Valor just for the MP refill.
Kind of a classic speedrun routing strat with Cage 2. Limit, pop into a form, then pop right back into another limit. So now this is his last kid right here. This is his final phase.
Yeah, so what I do actually, I move backwards because you can manipulate what he does. If you're far away, he always does Fireball. And now we just do some extra damage before getting into the Dance Call at the end. Another cool thing is that if you reflect a projectile, the game gives you a Combo Master, kind of. So you saw right there, I did a reflect into Aerial Dive. I couldn't normally do that unless I had Combo Master. But because I reflected the Fireball, the game just kind of gives it to you.
That's sick. Yeah, I know you've talked about that. There's a lot of, like, fun little quirky hidden mechanics in this game. Whether even the devs, if they knew that was a thing or not. Cage 2's got a lot of the reason why so many people speedrun this game and play randomizers and do all this stuff with it, do challenge runs, is because the combat is incredibly deep. The more you dig into it.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to it.
And you want to give us shout-outs? We were able to reach $2,500 as Necrofits threw down a 100 bomb. All right, Necro, this one's for you, baby. Let's see what this bean is. Oh, I want to get one good spin. Oh, it's gonna be a stink bug. It's gonna be a stink bug. There's no way. Dude, there's like none others in here. So you better give me a marshmallow. It didn't. All right. Good stuff. Oh, I'm not even...
Nice.
Like, I'm grossed out. I'm more just upset than anything else. What the hell? Necro, thank you so much for getting us to $2,500. Hell yeah.
Oh, that was stink bug.
That's so bad. Oh.
So right here, I did thunders on Oogie Boogie, and that was just to build my drive back up. So now we have 3 drive for the enemies here that spawn. So we're gonna summon Chicken Little. This fight is really scary if you don't use Chicken Little, because these enemies can kill you super easily. We're gonna do a neat trick here. I go into FPS mode. I'm gonna walk to the back of the fist, and then end FPS, and that keeps one of them alive. And then we're gonna keep him alive because it gets a thing called present skip, because he won't summon more presents unless this guy's dead. So as long as he's alive, he won't summon presents, and that saves time. So right here we got present skip. Use dance call on Oogie. And now that also does another thing, which I call double present skip, because right here we can just get the RC right away, as long as the enemy's alive. And that saves a lot of time. That's the biggest time save we have on Oogie, really. The rest of the fight is just RNG on what he does.
Yeah. For the most part, the rest of it is just don't die on Oogie. Because the death late on Oogie, like easily these kind of these little thunderbolts that come down, they grab you this piece of electricity. You lose like 4 minutes. It's like a number of minutes you lose having to go back to the start of this fight.
So right here, you can go to the middle or the far platform. And he chose middle. Okay.
Alright, we'll take it. Little 3-second time save.
It's actually crazy how much time he can lose. Especially the first phase, if he decides to throw dice or not, you can save you can lose like 5 or 6 seconds
really?
On that phase.
Wow.
Yeah. Normally I'd use dance call here. I don't want to use another potion, so I'm just gonna do air combos. Because Jack was on that platform, and if I rezzed him, he was likely to die to the spikes anyway.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Honestly, going pretty well so far.
Yeah, that concludes kind of the entire first wave of Disney visits. The game has always been a little weird about like kind of arbitrarily where it says, all right, that's good enough. You can like progress the actual plot. So it's basically just you need to have access to all the Disney worlds. So far left side, we have access to Pride Lands, but as we've always talked about, you never actually have to go to Pride Lands. And it'll be the same with the second visits. As long as the far right Olympus Coliseum and the far left Pride Lands are accessible, then that's good enough to go to the end of the game. But now we get to see Genie kick a lot of ass.
So we're going to use Reflex on these guys, and then do a Reflex Magnet into Wisdom Genie limit. And this limit does a lot of damage, as you can see. It's going to kill the Berserker here, and then we just want to clean up the Dusks. Now, you can save an Ether here. I'll play it safe and throw one, because I didn't grab enough MP. Now we do a Trinity to clean up the Berserkers.
Yeah, and don't blink this strike.
You can kill with that. Yeah, they can die to the Magnet. So what's happening there, we mentioned before, Trinity limit doesn't do any damage, but the reason it does damage right there is because the Magnet is pulling them back in every time they get knocked out. And every time they get pulled in, they take damage from the Magnet. So the Magnet's what's doing damage there. And we'll be using that tech a lot for the rest of the game with Genie as well, where we try to hit things in and out of the Magnet.
Yeah, that's like the hidden tech to still do really, really good damage on level 1. That's why, like, Genie already got, like, a decent amount of usage in, like, regular crit runs, but level 1, basically, while all your other damage across the board basically gets nerfed, Genie stays good. Any sort of that damage where it's knocking things in and out of 2 different damage properties over and over again, that damage will still hit really hard.
Yep, cool new thing found here. We just quick run into Wisdom and go do fires. Those fires are really hard to time, because you fall too much, you won't make that.
Nice. Yeah, the quick run immediately into the popping into it's nice. Because otherwise, I remember doing stuff like backing up a little bit.
Yeah. Nice movement tech here. We're going to skip the sledge grab with reflects like that. There's actually a lot of movement tech in this whole section right here.
This is like the section for movement tech. Like H2's not nearly as deep in its movement tech, or like, I guess in its movement tech showcase, I should say.
Yeah.
As like a lot of tricks that are found in like KH1 movement and definitely KH3 movement. But it's got its moments here and there. It's definitely the side dish to the main course that it is just like the combat optimization of the run.
Yeah, and in randomizer, the movement is actually pretty cool. Like you can do some neat stuff. It's just a shame we don't have the movement abilities in the run.
Yeah. Because anyone doesn't know, like, where do you get all the movements? It's from leveling the dry forms, which are relatively slow to level up outside of, you know, we figured out here for Wisdom.
Yep.
Technically, we also get high jump level 1, but I believe you don't equip that, right?
No. Yeah. It's just too much. Like, we don't have enough AP for it, really.
Yeah. It's like, technically, you could have it on, but you'd have to take it off at other points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will be leveling Limit, though. Now that we have Limit. We're leveling it to level 2. Just because we want that for boss fights later on. And I'll be taking Tron's items in the next menu.
Yeah, so you'll get another forced menu with him. Limit, very, very good. Definitely my favorite inclusion. I guess along with the Roxas boss fight and the Data Org fights. I guess there's a lot of cool stuff. But Limit still might be my favorite of the inclusions to the Final Mix version of this game. Limit is very swag and very good.
So I'm curious, Spike, what is your favorite world first visit?
My first visit world? Ooh,
Yeah.
Okay, so let's think through like that's got that. There's a part of me that does like just the general aesthetic and everything of Timeless River. I know people dog on it a lot for
I actually like Timeless River too.
For like the sound effect design they had in
true,
kind of the PS4 version and beyond, where it's like it's a little too grainy. I'm trying to like differentiate. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay. Again, specifically of the first visits, I think I do like Agrabah like a fair amount. I just don't think the Lords are like a super fascinating boss fight.
Oh, I think they're pretty cool.
I was like, I know you did a whole like boss tier list, like every boss in Kingdom Hearts.
yeah. That I don't recommend doing that. it's like there's 5 Rikus in Recom, and then there's like the same boss for like every character in Birth by Sleep.
I'm actually gonna say, because like it's hard for me, because like I want to associate everything with like these are the speedrun strats. I think the speedrun strats in Port Royal 1 are very cool, and Port Royal 2 they're also very cool. It's the infamous Grim Reaper 2 Master Form strats and everything. You do like I don't know if you do them in this run necessarily, but like the genie canceling you can do with Hori Slash.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah. Like there's cool usages of Comet in both Grim Reaper fights. So I'm actually gonna say Port Royal would be my pick.
It's a good choice. Yeah, I like Port Royal too. In this run especially, we kind of skimmed over the boat fight, but if you go back and watch it, there's like some really cool stuff that happens there.
Yeah, that was nuts, the like way you manipulated the spawns right there to where because the spawns were always awkward in that fight. At best they just felt kind of random, like the order enemies would die in, and sometimes it would stagger the like bigger pirates in a weird way. So the fact that y'all figure out how to manipulate that, a lot of cool stuff has been found over the years.
Oh yeah.
In a run that already 5 years ago was incredibly satisfying to do and watch.
Yep, and that was we didn't talk much about light cycle, but it's not too hard because the pattern like the patterns of everything in that entire second section right there are the same each time. So if you do the same thing will happen every time.
Yeah.
That's not the case for the enemies before that, which is why it went kind of slow for me, but at least I didn't get hit.
Yeah, the biggest thing you want to avoid, because once again, it's another world where a death costs you a ton of time. Because you go back to before you even re-enter Tron World. So, just make sure you don't take any damage in that first bit. Now we're going into Space Paranoids, into the screens. This is normally in Crit where you would do a bunch of leveling right here to make sure you have a couple strength increases for the upcoming fights. We're not leveling, so we're just trying to end this as quickly as we can, and we get to show the beautifulness that is Master Genie.
Yeah, so we're knocking them in and out of the magnet again like the Trinity before, but this time with Master Form. And we're going to do Trinity right here to end it to get our drive back. And that is enough. This is really fast screens. Yep, pretty good.
Another thing that Final Mix did that I'm really glad they did do was just your drive gauge fills like 5 times faster.
Yeah, super fast.
The original, you ran out of drive. You were just never getting it back.
Yeah, it would take forever. Well, one funny thing is that Final Mix also limited the drive recoveries to 1 chest.
Yeah.
The original had like a lot of them, but there's only 1 in this game.
Now, there was a way of balancing that. So there is 1 safety drive recovery you can pick up all the way back in Hollow Bastion. And other than that, like, your drive management is very important in this run.
So this beginning combo isn't going to look hard, but it's actually really hard. So let me...
Yeah. Yeah,
Use
this is very positioning based. What Ninten is doing is he's going to go in immediately, pop that comet, and he wants to like make sure that hostile program stays backed up against the wall like that and eats all of that comet rain damage. That knocks all those orbs out. It gives him the breaks in the HP that he wants to see. And I was going to try to push him, I'm assuming basically all the way to his last phase, which is going to be just under 2 bars.
Yep,
Nicely
so
done.
Neat thing I did there. I did Thunder, Reflect in Wisdom form, and as I hit Reflect, I also froze him, so like as Wisdom was jumping up, the Reflect is going off. Get some extra damage that way.
Yep.
Now we're gonna end the fight with this last Comet. And this should kill.
Light Goofy getting in there with a lot of Goofy turbos.
Yeah, there's actually a thing in this game that we call damage amp, where during attacks, especially like aerial dive and aerial spiral, if they're getting hit by something else during your aerial spiral, then you'll get max damage per hit, whereas normally the first hit of aerial spiral will give you max damage and then the rest will be chip. So we actually take advantage of that a lot from here on out.
Yeah, it's why you'll commonly see in like a lot of like data org fights and whatnot, whenever you go to duck play or something, you just do aerial spirals over and over again, because those are all getting max damaged inside of the duck player. More sick Genie action, also utilizing that finishing leap combo finisher that we got off of the Lords earlier. Master Genie is also like really interesting in how it works. Like different enemies are basically put into different like weight classifications. So that's why you'll see sometimes Ninten will like go kind of far away from the enemies and then do the magnet into a Master Genie, as that will suck them all in. But like heavier enemies, you basically want to do the Master Genie right on top of their faces.
Yeah, and that applies to this fight in particular, because we're going to be using the Master Genie magnet on top of them. And we'll be doing that for each wave here. There's actually a really cool strat that was found recently that I mostly found here for Demix. So we used to end this fight with Trinity Limit to get our drive back, but instead we're going to go into Demix with Trinity out, and we're going to do a really sick strat on Demix.
Ooh, okay.
So we're going to use Wisdom Genie at the beginning of Demix to clear out the water clones. And the problem is we won't have much drive, but there are ways to get it back here. So we're going to do this to clear it out. Dismiss Genie. Use a magnet on a water clone nearby Demix, and now do magnet or Ultima. So now we have 3 drive, and that's enough. So that Ultima cleared out our water clones, which got a lot of hits. And now we're gonna go into Wisdom form. And there we go. Now he's gonna do the minigame again. And we get another Ultima on the water clones, and that'll take care of him. So we did Reflect, Thunder, Reflect in Wisdom during his combo, which I think is really sick. And then forced another Retaliation after. And then did Reflect into Trinity, and that does enough damage. So we don't need Limit Form in this fight.
That's so sick. And yeah, you'll see that's kind of a common thing where, like, you say, okay, what's Reflect, Thunder, Reflect? If you just spam through your reflects, they're not going to do, like, separated damage. It effectively just chains the reflects together until you're done spamming reflect. However, if you break up reflects 1 and 3, so the starter of a combo and the end of a combo, then all of a sudden the reflects, each of those 2 are broken up, so they each go off, they each proc, while you're doing damage with something else, like a Thunder or Blizzard or something. And then the final reflect is just another finisher, so it also goes off. So that does a ton of damage all of a sudden right there. In the limit form here, going to utilize the different limits. Limits upgrade from just doing limits themselves. It's you specifically get an EXP point for limit on the finisher of any limit. It's right there. Ninten going through Sonic Rave. As soon as it gets to the finisher, that gets an experience
So it takes
point.
3 limits to get to level 2 limit form, and I've routed it out, so I'll get level 2 on Roxas, ideally. But I have a chance of using more limits earlier on.
Right here, Ninten using Vicinity Break, trying to bait out, that reaction command, Rising Sun. As with the reaction boost, that is definitely some of your best damage. This is always the scariest fight of the Final Fantasy fights, because these Morning Stars can just kind of kill you whenever they want. So use that, utilizing those Rising Guns. Oh.
So that that attack right there is the one shot. They have to watch out when they jump in the air like that. That's one shot. There we go.
Nice.
Now we're gonna try to get the reaction command from the security bots like this to clear out this wave faster. I am at 1 hit, so I gotta be careful. Okay. Now, if you pay attention, if you kill the first Morning Star that spawns, then that will spawn the rest of the enemies. So I try to keep track of who that is, but I missed it there. Alright, we're good. That is the longest death in the game, because you have to redo Demix, and then everything else.
Yeah, it was enough to where, again, in randomizers, they were like, let's put a checkpoint after Demix. Like, give you, like, a reprieve there to walk into the fights. But, yeah, it all just chains together. And now, the most random piece of garbage in the run. 1K Heartless on level 1. You're going to see Ninten basically pull out all the stops. This is completely random. Like, you want to see the Sparkle Ray reaction commands pop up at all times. But if they do this, you'll see Ninten bust out a Thunder to sort of stun them out of it and give you that instant reaction command. It kind of goes to show how low your stats are, that you would think a Thunder would just kill one of these little things. Nope, it's just enough to stun it and keep it going.
Takes like 5 Thunders.
Yep, another one. Thank God that strat works.
An important thing that I did was I refilled my drive gauge so that if I ever do need to panic into something, I can use limit form. So it's important you have that built up in case you get stun locked. The scariest part is if I get hit from something off screen, like if they wind up off screen and shoot me. So I try to pay really close attention to what's spawned in and see if anything is winding up.
You see Ninten kind of always staying on the move, having to react to all the different enemies walking around. They go for the little swipes or anything. Very, very easy to die in this. Masterfully working through it so far, already up to 965 robots, into another Thunder to cancel for that reaction command. We're down to 5 nerds left. Come on, man. Just don't make this take too long.
Yeah. So
Nicely done.
that usually happens at the end of 1K. Because there's less enemies around, it's a lot harder to kill more with the beam. But yeah, we survived it. We survived Hollow Bastion, which is a big plus.
Yeah, that always felt like a big gauntlet. Everything from like hostile program through 1K was like the first big whoo of a crit run. Not that you can't die before that, but you get like little reprieves in between. All of that chains together to be a super cool sequence, but also a very punishing one. Want to remind you guys, as Ninten is now going into the second wave of the Disney World, it's got to do 5 world revisits right here. That once again, this is T1.Done, an event put together by my wife and favorite person in the world, Nuclear, here on my channel, twitch.tv/spikevegeta, to support the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. We have raised $2,500 on the dot, and we want to keep it going. That's only a quarter of our goal. We'd like to reach $10,000 by the end of tomorrow night. Can we get there? Only you can decide. Throwing down any donation of at least $15, I'll eat a nasty bean. They're all nasty at this point. I don't care what anyone says. From the Bean Boozled box, and every $2,000, we've already given away one. Every $2,000 increment, we will give away in a drawing a X Rocker headset. So heck yeah, keep it coming in, guys. This has been a great event so far. Let's keep it going.
All right, so Grim Reaper is pretty annoying to a lot of runners, but it's actually one of my favorite fights because the way that we keep him stunned is fun to do if it works well. So we're going to do, I don't want him to be over here, I want him to be in a corner. So we're going to do Comet, and now we're going to keep him stunned during the Comet combos. Oh, I did not think okay. There we go. So now we're going to do Comet Rain. That was very good damage.
Oh, bouncing around inside that damage, super sick. And now we get the swag that is Master Form.
So basically what I'm doing is that he wants to break out really badly, but the comets are stunning him in between all of my air combos so that he doesn't break out. And then if we interweave the comets between the air combos that way, he just never has a chance.
Yeah, that is so fast compared to, especially like, I remember OG days, it was basically you summoned Stitch and you just shot him with blizzards and hope Stitch would lick you enough.
Yeah,
it was far slower than that. That stun lock is so sick. And same sort of thing here, throwing up the magnet at the end so that we're bouncing him in and out of it with that solo trinity over and over again.
Yeah, and we also did that to get drive back because we want to have 3 drive after the next gambler. I don't know if I'll reach it. I think I might just barely reach it. Because again, the magnet right there gives you a lot of drive because we're in empty recharge when we're doing it. Yeah, just barely.
Yeah, there's nothing right. Nice.
And now we can do a cool thing called Genie canceling.
Yay.
Every time you switch Genie's forms, it will restart your combo. And so you can just continue doing an infinite combo by swapping his form over and over again. It's pretty hard to do. It takes a lot of practice to get it that fast.
Do you have a favorite, we were talking about movement tech earlier. Do you have a favorite piece of combat tech in this game? There's a lot of combat tech.
Yeah, there is. I think it would be... I think it might be Genie canceling.
I think Genie canceling looks so cool.
Yeah.
It's basically a lot of people are familiar with like Berserk Charge, Horizontal Slash, where if you just drain all your MP, you get to do that for free. But if you've got Genie and Horizontal Slash, you don't need Berserk Charge. It's just a way harder version.
It's just extremely hard. So Grim Reaper will be doing the same thing on this fight, except that we have to knock out the medallions first. And we do that by using magic. So on this phase, we're going to do more genie looping. This one lasts a long time.
And again, what Ninten is doing, you look down there in the menu, he is swapping the drive of what genie is sitting on, which cancels out what would be where the horizontal slashes should end, and you can do a set of 2 more over and over and over again. But again, that's a lot of movement in a very short amount of time for inside of your menuing to then get to 2 more horizontal slashes.
Yep, and now we're going to try to go all the way to the next phase with this comet.
Yeah, and again, you can notice right there, he's doing a shot of Comet right there, kind of after each of the finishers, but he's also interlooping them into the starts of his combos as well. So the Comet really is like constantly ticking up damage. Now he's got his 4 drive back. Needs to get the duck alive, and now he's going to pop into Master Form. This is kind of one of the oldest, most classic speedrun strats in Cage 2, and it's still stuck around. Master Form is like built for this moment right here.
Yeah, so what's actually happening is that we are knocking all of the medallions out with the thunders from Master Form, because it does more than 1 thunder, and each thunder knocks out 50. And I realized that the reason we have to like delay our thunders there, and that's because there is a limit to how many medallions come out of Grim Reaper 2 before it stops spawning them.
Oh, that's why. I never knew like what. I always assumed just like some can whiff, right?
Yeah. So
There.
that was PR2. That's actually one of the hardest second visits, and it's like right after Hollow Bastion, so it's really difficult to do it.
Yeah, this is a absolutely brutal stretch. Executing all of that.
We get a small breather in Agrabah here because oh, actually I made a I made a slight blunder. We're not going to Agrabah yet. Just kidding.
You just really
Halloween
wanted
Town.
to go to Agrabah.
Yeah, I wanted my break.
I was gonna say I figured Decisive Pumpkin was useful for at least. Well,
I don't think we actually need... I don't remember why it matters, but we'll just assume that there's a reason why we go there next.
yeah, it's fine. Maybe
right
some
here we'll be-
menuing you do in here. I don't know.
Yeah, right here we do Magnet Trinity again for the kids. And that Major Drive does just enough damage that the finisher should get them all.
Yeah, 2 really good tools, obviously, that we just got from Grim Reaper 2. Upgraded our Baby Magnet to Magnera, so it helps the pull of it. And it also gave us the best limit in the game, or best offensive tool, Flare Force for Donald. Yeah, you're going to see that get used immediately right here.
Yeah, just after we get past the presence, which... there's a neat thing you can do here where you skip the ending animation, which I love it because I can get it pretty consistently, but
Heyo.
let's see if we can try and get it here.
Yeah, you want to try to get the 4 presents from these 4 White Knights, and you really don't want to have to do anything after the White Knights, because then the big, like, grave tombstone, Heartless, whatever they're called, they spawn in, and they're very, very deadly.
Yeah, so you want to end the limit right as you grab the
Nice.
last present, and that can skip the clear animation, just like the fight in the other Halloween Town. Is it? And now we got a present minigame, which is just complete luck, and you can just lose. You can either lose or save like a bunch of time, depending on which presents come out.
Yeah,
So
you want to see the
gold
big
presents.
boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, generally runners will be able to judge how good or bad it is based on how much of the song they hear. But you've also got Lock, Shock, and Barrel that'll jump out onto the arena.
I judge it by if I see Barrel.
Uh-huh.
And so this is really good right here. We
Yeah,
just
you
like
already
right as
saw.
Shock came out, we got
Ooh,
it.
Two 2 greens and a brown. Yeah, that's really good.
And so now you'll be seeing how good Duck Flare is. We're using a lot of Duck Flare here.
Duck Flare, woo! When you want to kill things quickly, Duck Flare, woo! And bleh, we don't care about being level 1. Duck Flare's really good. Yes, that's pushing him all the way to his HP barrier. Now he's just got to do a finisher in order to break him apart. And now his positioning is actually important because you want to make sure you are throwing it directly behind you into the face. That's what will kind of get you back into, that's what will like bring him back together so you can start damaging him again.
Yep, and we'll be ending the fight with this next Duck Flare. This one will be stalling with the rocket flares so that we can get maximum damage out. Just so we can kill him right there at the end. And you saw right there, I went into limit form to do a Ragnarok because the Ragnarok does a lot of damage on him too. And that it gives me another limit EXP. So now we're at 2, and the last one I'll get is on Roxas.
Right there, getting the decisive pumpkin Keyblade. There's definitely a Keyblade that I think gets utilized a lot more in any % critical speedruns, just because you've got the additional combo boost to go with it. So it makes your ground finishers like Guard Break and Finishing Leap do a ton of damage.
Yeah.
But outside that, here on level 1, air combos, I think are still generally preferred in a lot of fights.
Yeah, the other thing to mention is that if you level up, you get combo boost as a regular ability, so you get double combo boost in crit. But because we're not leveling up, we don't have anything, and air combos are just better in most cases.
Yeah, so once again, Hero's Crest just going to be boosting up your base air finishers. These carpet fights definitely can be pretty frustrating to have to deal with, just because you're having to deal with like how the enemies will move around, where exactly your magnets go, to try to chain it into like your Finishing Leap and whatnot. And the carpet fights, obviously, you being just Sora, you don't have access to any of your summons like Genie or Chicken Little. You don't have Duck Flare, any of your dry forms or anything. It's just Sora and his base tool set.
Yeah.
A little bit of movement tech you try to do right here to kind of like curve around so that Sora doesn't go out of that dash animation.
Yeah. And yeah, so on the carpet fight, it's pretty tough because you have to keep track of everything like going up and down as well. So you want everything to be like level with Sora and the magnet. So right here we're doing more magnet Finishing Leap. Trying to catch these guys with this magnet. And when they come out of it, they will always do this attack. So we can reflect it and go into another one. Awesome Ether. Do the same thing with the Crimson Jazz, and an air combo gets him. And we need the magic for the magic switch minigame that's going to come up here.
Yeah. Yeah, nicely done. A pretty common, like, just good combo in this game is reflect an attack into a magnet, as that'll create that same sort of real instant knock them in and out of magnet a lot and do a big explosion of damage.
I got tagged right there. That's fine.
Yeah,
Agrabah
I was
like
worried that was going to delay you on getting the thunder off that cycle.
Yeah, that was close. I was going to say, Agrabah is like, honestly, one of the most chill second visits because it's just like the 2 fights, and then you have like a pretty big breather until you fight Jafar. And Jafar is actually not too hard with the strat we do.
Yeah, I was watching you do Genie Jafar the other night. It's just a buttload of air combos. Like you get off like 3 full double finisher to air combos on each like set of damage on him.
Yep, so right here we have a long auto scroller. We don't need EXP, so we just have to survive it.
Yeah, gamers, while we're going through the auto-scroller, again, raising money here for JDRF. I know we're getting a little later for my normal audience. We got over 500 people in here watching,
wow.
supporting the event. Appreciate y'all. Even if you can't donate, just your eyeballs being here is very, very good. Your eyeballs and your whole self. I don't love y'all just for your eyes. You're all great. But again, $2,500 already raised for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. If you got any donations on you, I know we've had a lot of big ones, the $250 bombs, the $100 bombs, even those big 50s and everything. If you've got $1, $5, that is amazing. Those add up so quickly. Let's see if we can keep making a push, everyone.
Yeah, you can try to get a $5 train going.
And again, after this, guys, we still got one more run tonight. We've got Little Aggie coming on to do Elden Ring randomizer for us. Should be a lot of fun. And then we got an entire extra day tomorrow. Stuff like Andy doing Link to the Past, Kelsey doing some Skyrim crowd control. I can't wait to see the raw amount of horses that'll be on screen. Skybill showing up for her 2-pack, joining Author Blues for co-op run there, and also doing the Super Mario Brothers All-Stars. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff. Shay's coming on to do Undertale. It should be, yeah, Cookies and Cream. I was trying to think of the name of the game that they do for the co-op run. So lots and lots of good stuff still to come in this event. And just shout outs to all the runners for joining us, for being nice enough to join us for this awesome event. Thank you, Ninten. I appreciate you.
Thanks. I appreciate being part of the event. All right, so that section is done, and now we're heading into Jafar. And yeah, like I said, the fight is pretty easy if you know what you're doing. If you play this fight casually, then you're probably gonna get stuck here, because if you let Jafar DM, then it's pretty much over. Like, it's so hard to survive after that on level 1. So if I get a DM, then it's gonna be really scary.
Yeah, it's not even, like, everyone thinks about where he, like, pulls you into, like, another dimension. Like, that's not even the scary part. It's the coming out of it where it's ridiculous. He just spams a bunch of crap at you.
So I count my air combos here. I'm also timing it. Another thing that you wouldn't notice is that... Oh no, I mistimed it. It's fine. Okay, wait, no, it's not fine. Hold up, we have to recover this. I think it'll be fine if I do this.
Is it maybe sandbag some damage somewhere? I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'll just... So normally I would get that RC, but I dropped that combo. I was actually just saying how I time on my inputs to get quick combos. Oh, did that? Okay. And I mistimed it when I said that. It's okay.
Yeah, so that was like right at the barrier where Ninten would have pushed him into his DM phase. So now we're going to try to kill him before he gets an opinion again.
Yep, so now we got the RC. So you want to get his HP right there before, and then then knock him down again afterwards. So you get like the maximum damage after that point. Because otherwise, he's going to DM if I broke that HP gate.
Nicely done. Yeah, good recovery there. Knowing how to back it up.
Yep, and now we just got 2 more visits until we get to pretty much the end of the game. 2 more Disney Worlds.
Yeah, it's funny how we end up going the left side first, because Duck Flare's over there. Decisive Pumpkin for a few usages.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Rumbling Rose gets no usage in this run?
No, it doesn't. Yeah, we don't use that at all.
Yeah, normally you like in regular crit, at least when in Boomer Cage 2 or Cage 2 speedrunning days when I ran it, you would actually go to Beast Castle first just to get the Rumbling Rose, and you would save Zaldan for later. Just because Rumbling Rose had the finishing plus on it.
Also for the strength up, because it gives you a lot of strength.
Yep. Once again, Magnet Trinity, very good. And I like that newer strat implemented where you just, there's no like waiting on the Lancers to like jump in on you and do an attack, and then you reflect Magnet. You just jump up, you Magnet, and that gives you that natural perfect spacing to where the Ultima that comes out of a Trinity limit will just shred their health.
Yeah, it's a thing we didn't really mention, but Ultima, it looks like it's hitting a lot, but towards the middle of Ultima, it actually doesn't hit very much at all. So you want to hit everything like on the outer edge of it.
Yeah, it's like very specific spacing that causes that kind of damage shred. Beast Castle otherwise is just a very, very short revisit. Like, bam, there's your Rumbling Rose. You do a quick warp here. You got one more fight, and then you got Zaldin.
Yeah, and this fight is pretty fun. So, neat trick we do here. I'm going to start out the fight with a magnet to get everything together, and then I'm going to summon Genie here. And now we'll see what form he is. I can change his form, and then do the limit. Now we'll do one more. Now this will kill, I think. Almost. And there we go.
Nicely done. Yeah, anything with Master Genie just looks so good.
Yep, so this fight is pretty scary. So we're gonna start out. There's a lot of things that happen in this fight. We're gonna get him right below the DM gate with Duck Flare, and then we're going to get as much damage as we can to kill him before he DMs. I actually didn't get enough damage there, but it is possible I can still kill him. So we'll try. I'm gonna heal Donald. As they're both dead, I go into limit form to refill my magic, because we don't get any anti-points that way. And then we also have to heal Donald to get Duck Flare again. It's gonna be really, really tight on damage.
Yeah, again, those little hits of Rocket Flare there to pump in some damages with the reaction boost. Oh, that should be money.
There we go. Yeah, just on the last horizontal slash.
It was, yeah, we were out of rockets.
Yeah.
That is another fight where if you just go fight him on level 1, you will be like, why am I doing no damage? And
Yeah.
that's not as simple as just use Duck Flare. Like, it's very specific how you have to use Duck Flare to get that kind of damage and that kind of lockdown on the bosses.
Yeah, and also, like, as you saw, the jumps themselves were doing, like, nothing. It's, like, less than a bar of health for 9 jumps. So that's why we don't really use the jumps too much. And now Riku is a pretty tough fight because you can just get comboed and die pretty easily. But what a neat strat I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of watch what he does and then react to what he does. And the worst RNG is if he dashes away. So that is worst RNG right there, because you can't get a reflect off of it, and you can't get much of a punish either.
Yeah, it almost feels more like a Dark Souls boss at this point. It's very, like, reactionary what you're doing, as opposed to just a straight lockdown. Because, yeah, he brick walls through anything. There's no way to stagger him in any way.
Yeah, so this should be the end of it here.
Yeah, nice aerial dive carrying of that reflect.
Yeah, that was another case of getting the combo master off the reflects. Yeah, so that was fine. The RNG that he gives you can just, like, lose you a lot of time, because if he does that dash away, then you just don't get much damage on him. We're also using Decisive Pumpkin for a little bit here. Actually, I think we'll be using it for most of the rest of the game.
Yeah, I was like, I know at some point DP still comes in. Wasn't sure exactly where. Another classic Trinity limit usage here, I'm assuming.
Yep,
Ooh,
so I actually,
double magnet.
yeah, I do a new strat there where I target and then magnet, and then untarget and magnet, because the other strat can fail sometimes. So, like, we used to just throw out one magnet and then Ultima.
Give me strength.
So another use of Master Genie here. We'll be proccing a attack from the snipers with a vicinity break if I position correctly here. And then reflect it into the magnet. So the dusks don't get hit too much by it, but the snipers die. Now we can do another one right here. Just is good enough, I think. Yeah. And now we're coming up on Storm Rider, which is a really long fight, and the strat involves doing a lot of things for it to work correctly. We'll be using I think we use 3 duck flares and a summon. And 3 ethers. So we're gonna grab on right here. Reflect that into a duck flare. And the duck flare. I dropped a lot of my combos, so damage might be kind of bad. Should be fine. Jump back onto top of him here. Now this duck flare is going to knock out the horns, which will knock him down. So he can get extra damage here before he does the reaction commands. Now, this is where we summon Genie to get off extra damage with the limit in Wisdom. Because I'm pretty sure Wisdom gets the most damage.
The way it kind of is focused right there.
Yeah. Now, we dismiss into the reaction command so that Donald doesn't die, because if Donald spawns in, then he might die to that. We have just enough magic to get Duck Flare out. And there we go.
Nicely done. Good fight.
Thank you.
I love the Wisdom Genie usage right there.
Yeah, and now we're entering the end of the game. We just have Twilight Town and what the level was. This is where things get really crazy in level 1 because the Water Level was just a boss rush, and all of the strats are extremely hard. And we don't have to go through the Gummi like we do normally. So right here, we're going to be dealing with Mickey as a party member, and he's not great.
My dude. Yeah, it's a common theme. Most of the, like, just, here's a party member, they throw at you. Leon, back in the, what's it called? Back in the Bailey, Mickey here, a number of the other party members. Just like, they're not helpful. They try to help, and they really just knock the enemies, like, out of what you want to do to keep them locked down.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing a cool thing here where during the summon, everything just kind of stops, and you just are immune to anything. So that bullet goes through you.
Yeah, so you can be a little reactionary to that. And now, once again, this is another classic Cage 2 strat right here. Going into those weight classifications. So going to be jumping away from the dusks right here, utilizing that to catch them with Genie. Jump off to the side as well. That will draw them in with Magnet plus Master Genie. Now we got the third set here, get away from them. And now for these guys, the Samurai, you want to basically sit right on top of them. And the worst thing Mickey can do is knock them away out of your magnets.
Wow. That was actually one of the best Mickey fights I've ever had, I think.
That was, like, disgustingly perfect.
Yeah, it was like, Mickey didn't knock anything out, and then the magnets got maximum damage and everything. So that was really good. And now we have to deal with the second fight, which can also go really bad because we have Axel as a party member. And the same thing applies here, where Axel tries to knock things out of your magnets. But he can do an attack that speeds it up really fast if he wants to. So it all depends on what he decides to do.
Oh, is it like charge in and like shoot the little fireball out or whatever it's called?
Yeah, it's like the like the chakras spin around.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, those are good when he does it. Hey,
cool thing here.
Whirly Goof?
Whirly Goof.
My man! Let's go.
There we go. So
yeah,
sick.
it's whatever, for whatever. You notice, like, no damage, and then, like, the middle part of Whirly Goof just goes. Yeah, it's another one. In and out of magnet. It's very cool.
So he's
He
leaving me
knows
alone
in
for
general.
now.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he's not doing too much right now, which is fine. I'm gonna go into limit form to get back my MP. So that's the attack we want, but not right then. I had to react to that guy spawning in. He was gonna hit me.
Yeah, and those will one-shot.
Yep. Ooh, that was good.
Nice fight.
Pretty good Twilight Town.
Yeah, that was pretty happy with how those 3 fights went. And now we go right into the world that never was. Starting off the boss rush, we got to pick off the rest of the org members. Starting off here with Roxas. And this is, you know, kind of another one of the classic Cage 2 speedrun fights. Difference is it's gone through about 15 different iterations over the years of like what the optimal strat is.
Yeah, and
to the
this
point where
one is
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, this is a new, even newer one. I really like this strat, but it's very hard. I probably won't be able to explain it very well while I'm doing it.
Well, we'll watch, we'll enjoy. Yeah, in general, just like knowing with Roxas how to manipulate his revenge value to get retaliations at exact times. So doing that double finisher right there, 1-2 from there will give him the double reflect. He can aerial recovery into another reflect right there, which will pop Roxas away from you. Refilling up on HP because his hits can do a ton of damage right there. And again, you're usually taking that damage effectively into the aerial recovery. Now we're going to get a retaliation right there. He's built up enough drive to where he can go back into limit form and then utilize a Ragnarok to finish it off and get that level 2 with the Combo Master up in the right corner. Roxas, no matter how it's done, is always going to be an incredibly, incredibly sexy fight.
Yeah, and so the new thing there is that I don't use an ether at all. It's about the same speed as using the blizzards to proc the retaliation, but we do 2 hits instead. It just makes the timing a bit harder.
Want to give a shout? So it looks like we got another donation coming in. Hold up. Wait a minute. Chat, let me put you back into it. We got $100 donated anonymously as a fellow T1D. I completely support this effort. Loving the event. Thank you so much, Anonymous, whoever you are. You are wonderful. All right, it's time. I look over, the camera's already on. Let's spin this sucker. Hit. We are doing, ooh, I don't think I've done these yet. Peach or barf? It was barf. Oh, barf's bad, dude. Oh, barf's bad.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's barf.
It tastes just like when you want to barf.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Speaking of barfing, let's fight Zigbar.
So I have, I think I have 6 ethers, and then I will have 2 more from Riku. Which is just enough ethers that I have to not use any on Luxord, which is fine because I'm pretty comfortable with that, but it makes it a bit harder.
Once again, another fight where Duck Flare is going to be the king here.
Yeah.
Don't want to let him have his opening 3 attacks before you go in with the Duck Flare to make sure he's not going to break out of it. You see Ninten kind of staggering, making sure he doesn't immediately go into Mega Duck Flare. He wants to push him to just under 3 bars of health. Popping back into Valor form, primarily right here, get off a little bit of damage, and to get that limit gauge filled right back up, or that MP gauge. So
okay. So here's the thing that happened there. I did it too much revenge value and in Valor form, and that stayed over for the rest. That's fine. So we have to sit through a DM here. So there's a lot happening in this fight. We have to manipulate his revenge value. So like I assume you guys might know revenge value. It's like when you do hits, you add more revenge value, and when it hits a certain number, they break out. And what the way that it works is that it will build above the max, and it'll drop down over time. So what you have to watch out for in this fight is that it's so high above because of Duck Flare that you have to wait. I didn't wait long enough on the last reload for it to reach 0. So I hit revenge value too fast, but that's fine. Stick a DM there.
Yeah, it's a kind of one of the first things when you get into Kingdom Hearts 2 speedrunning that you kind of need to understand mechanics-wise. That the game obviously doesn't tell you about. It's just a mechanic that you can kind of infer is you hit things enough, at a certain point, they stop letting you wail on them. And a lot of it, like we were talking about with Roxas back there, is actually doing enough hits to induce a revenge. And then knowing how to manipulate that, usually hitting them back with like a reflect or something. So now again, the boss rush continues. We just go right up. It's time for Luxord. But we're actually keeping on the hero's crest right here, as we'll be doing a lot of air combos for him.
Yep, so this opening is pretty tough. I actually just practiced it before the marathon.
Nice. And using that Combo Master, what's happening right there, Combo Master plus Slapshot is a pretty deadly combo. That same technique I was talking about earlier, where you can do a reflect and then break it up, 2 reflects with another attack in between. Slapshot comes out in like a split second. So you can do a reflect, Slapshot, reflect, and both those reflects will do a lot of damage, which is really good for clearing out like all the cards. You're also going to want to reflect his little mini game right there. The reason why that is something you can reflect is funny, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is pretty funny.
A lot of air combos.
So I'm out of magic now. I have an idea.
Popping
Okay, we'll
instantly
take this.
into limit. Okay.
Yeah, so the limit is good to get back your magic, and we'll just take the DM. So on level 1, because your damage is so much worse, because you don't have the combo boost from critical mode, the DM skip only saves like 3-ish seconds if you do it well. So taking the DM right away isn't that bad.
Yeah, it's a lot better than if he had committed to trying to get it.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Oh, it's time for the 1 usage of Strike Raid. That's like the one thing I like whenever that happens. Like, because Strike Raid's the only one of the 4 limits that doesn't get a usage.
Oh, true,
all of a sudden,
that is
hey.
true. Yeah.
Because, yeah, Ars Arcanum, really good for those stun locks. Sonic Grave, good for clearing some stuff out and getting you those quick limit experience points. Ragnarok, good for amazing damage. And then there's Strike Raid, which is, it's chilling.
It is very cool, though.
And now, this is another one of the coolest fights in the game.
Yeah,
we got
a fun thing we do here is I quick run behind him, and that prevents Donald from getting hit. And then I can lure him away from Donald here. So that prevents him from dying, because we need him for Duck Flare. And now this strat is incredibly tight.
Magnet to induce a revenge from him. And yeah, this is where we're talking about those aerial spirals. Because they are inside of another attack, all of the hits of aerial spiral, effectively it's like aerial spirals hitting 3 times, all at max damage. And now again, we induce that revenge value into another reflect, into even more Duck Flare. Gonna pop more, going to reflect again, immediately into another Duck Flare, and take him out, filling up the drive along the way. Beautifully done, Ninten.
Yeah, so there's a moment in there when we go into Wisdom form where I do a ground combo when he's retaliating, and it knocks him up, and we want to go Wisdom before he lands because we want him to retaliate as soon as he lands, and if you wait until he lands, then he'll get jumped up again. So that right there is really tight. You have to go Wisdom right away. So I actually pre-menu it before the fight starts so I do it in time.
We might I might have been talking over it with like the donation we had coming and everything, but also something Ninten did right after Roxas was he did use 2 become 1, which vanilla is what comes with the whole light and darkness. So he could force anti-form not once but 2 times, and that's why in all these fights he's able to use forms. Otherwise, all these data fights guaranteed he'd be popping into anti-form.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, the org fights here, if you remember getting anti-form here casually, it's because pretty much if you have a chance of anti, you will get it because it multiplies the odds.
Yeah, by like 10 times. You're basically scripted, you're going to get it. That's why a lot of people, when they quote-unquote randomly got final form, it was on Zigbar if you just died to him enough times. Now we go here into Xemnas 1, the precursor to the final boss rush.
Yeah, this fight actually isn't that bad. It's probably the easiest out of the boss rush here. He doesn't have many attacks. We're gonna be using a lot of what we call RSR, which is Reflect, Slap Shot, Reflex. Because now that we have Combo Master, we're able to do that.
Yeah, you'll see Ninten actually just sandbag and not necessarily go for like a combo there, because the best damage you're going to have is that RSR.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, he knows he's going to be transitioning him anyways, so now he just goes through the whole combo. Again, Decisive Pumpkin giving you that combo boost ability, powering up all of your ground finishers, especially those guard breaks and finishing leaps.
Going to limit here. This is where I like to have level 2 limit, just in case I need it. I think we have enough damage here. And there we go, that's this.
Nice, nicely done.
Now we just have the very end, last boss rush.
Let's go, Gamer. Ninten here, out here, absolutely killing it. Gamers, if you got any more donations you want to get in, you want to make me eat more disgusting beans during Ninten's run, this is the final stretch, the final 10 minutes of the run. Let's make it happen, Gamer. You've been killing it. I think your only death has been to Sean Yu.
Yeah, that's been it. For now.
Yeah, the final fight's going to absolutely get you. Man, screw buildings. They suck.
Screw skyscrapers.
Hey, screw skyscrapers, dude. Yeah. First fight we got coming up here, like, honestly, for all the super cool boss fights, the Cyx's, the Roxas's, Zaldin's super cool in this. There's a lot of cool strats in the speedrun, but I kind of love all the stops. Again, I don't know what the most updated version is. The core fight here is very cool.
Oh, it's actually, yeah, it's even cooler now. With Whirligoof.
Oh, this Whirligoof, let's go.
Yeah, we got Whirligoof. Whirligoof is probably my favorite limit, because it's a very new addition.
Yeah. It's for a long time, so Donald and Goofy each have 2 limits. Donald's got Comet and Flare Force, and everybody knows, everybody talks about those, everybody knows how good those are. Goofy's got 2 limits, and one of them, Knock Smash. Unfortunately, when they brought it to Final Mix, they nerfed it to hell. Like, they over-nerfed it. I don't know why they were just like, it will never be viable. But Whirligoof is still, like, pretty good. I remember there'd be like some rando seeds where I'd start with Whirligoof and be like, I'm gonna use this actually.
Yeah, it's really
like,
good in rando.
It's got pretty good damage on it. And yeah, it's got kind of those same properties like we were saying with like Master Form Genie and, you know, a few other things where just you can get things inside a magnet and do a ton of damage. But anyways, let's see how this goes. Starting off with the Master Form magnet. What's great about that is that stays on screen for a long time and actually just builds up a lot of hits, which immediately pushes you into the first wave of enemies phase. So nice. All of them are dead. Oh, that Whirligoof is so good. Now we go into Genie. We're going to be doing some Genie canceling right here in order to do a lot of hits in quick succession, which will automatically spawn in the second wave. Take that intentional damage boost to knock you back into an aerial recovery, perfectly spacing you for the magnet into Master Genie. Set it for another one. Despawn them, do another magnet so you can get that going up. All your drive went from 1 drive to 5. That was 4 bars, while also simultaneously killing all the enemies and doing a ton of damage there at the end of core. Into Valor form right here, so you can go for this double finisher, which is okay, a decent amount of damage into a Duck Flare. Gonna extend this Duck Flare just a little bit with some of the Rocket Flares.
Yeah, we want to build up 3 drive here because we're gonna go into Valor form again here to get our magic back. And now this is actually a really cool strat because it requires a really fast menuing. So we're going to revert Valor right away and then do a ground combo. We're going to do RSR, guard break into Elixir, then pop a Duck Flare as the the Elixir is falling down onto Sora.
Oh, that's so good.
So it's called item buffering, where we use our MP before the item drops down to go into another Duck Flare here.
That's such a good strat. There's so much going on there, gamers. Oh my god.
So you have to menu to the Elixir, and then menu to the Duck Flare very quickly.
Yeah, that's pretty commonly seen with, like, limit form. If you want to extend for an additional limit with, like, your Ars Arcanums, you throw the item up in the air, and then you do whatever is taking your MP, and then the item lands afterwards. So then you end up with a full MP bar right afterwards as you're going. And now we get Blue Eyes White Dragon. Hey, Yu-Gi-Oh's in the marathon. We did it. Everybody complained we didn't put Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories in this marathon. Ninten, have you ever played a Yu-Gi-Oh! Video game?
I have not. I think I maybe did as a kid, but I don't know.
I feel like I had like 4 GBA Yu-Gi-Oh! Games.
Yeah. From what I heard, Forbidden Memories is not at all like the card game, is it?
No, it's not. It's awful, but it's really fun. You should do it on your stream at some point. I'm just letting you know. I think your audience would actually really like it.
It's I heard there's a lot of RNG.
Oh, there's a little bit RNG, yes. But yeah, here with Blue Eyes White Dragon, you got it's 5 phases. 1, you had to take out the tail. And then what's nice about like this, when you bring in that, because you're right up against that side cannon, it just eats all that damage. So phase 3 goes down really fast. Now this is a fight you might think like, oh, it's just an auto scroller, and you know there is the depleting of the health in between auto scrolling stuff. It's actually not the least easy fight to die to. Yeah, like it's you see right there Ninten kind of moving in a box motion right there in order to try to like deflect all the little missiles that come by. That is the biggest perpetrator of death in this fight. And again, it's a big time loss because you're back to the start of this fight. Now you see Ninten kind of moving around, mashing out both attack and the laser shots.
Yeah, so that this is called finisher canceling. It's actually very similar to genie canceling. It does the same thing where when we're doing, so it's actually pretty hard to do on the controller because I have to mash both at the same time like this. But what we're doing is that we have to shoot a laser or a drain in between each finisher because that allows us to do infinite finishers. And the finishers are good because they knock away the bombs and everything.
Slight delay before dropping the big laser right there. So it just kind of moves into position, and then you blow off that wing. All right, we're down to the final 2 fights of the run. Gamers, this is your last chance. Get in those donations, or I'll cry. You don't want to see me cry. $2,600, though. Super sick so far. Going in, we've got 3 phases here with Armored Xemnas 2. Slide dash immediately into the reflect and then continue that. Some more finishing cancels right there. Actually utilizing Riku's little triangle commands to allow you to do extended, like doing a triple finisher right there. Which with Decisive Pumpkin, those are all doing pretty good damage.
Yeah, it's called Dark Aura, and you're able to do more finisher canceling that way. It's very cool. Now we're just gonna glide over
nice little change they made from original Cage to English is they normally in that one they knocked you out of the ship 3 times. They were like, we don't need to do that much. That ain't that big a deal. So they just broke one of the HP barriers.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's why like it feels like his first phase has way more damage than the other 2, or way more you have to deplete. That was a good step back right there. Just have another reflect combo master.
So
right there
you can actually the attack he does when you land isn't random. It's dependent on where you are. So that's a thing that I found where if you move backwards with the dodge roll, you can proc the swing, which is very slightly faster than the barrier.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I imagine you just have to wait. It's more so in the having to wait for the barrier to go away before he'll like knock you out.
Yeah. And now, coming up on Final Xemnas, the beginning is extremely cool. So just watch during the entire grab sequence. The combo, the way we do it now is really cool.
Oh, yeah, you're going to do, like, the ground combo stuff. Yeah. Yeah, this is very cool to watch out for this, that Nintendo's going to try to, instead of, like, the standard way you see a lot of us do it, where we just go up in the air and we reflect a certain amount, we're actually going to stay grounded and fit in more, like, ground combo stuff along the way. So another one into a reflect, into a guard break there as well. So you've just maximized your damage far more there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna
little
wait for him
pause
to come down
over to
here.
see what he would have done there.
Yeah. Oh dear, I did not think he would do that.
Whoa,
That's
whoa! Okay, that's different.
Okay, into a flash up, go into limit form, do a ground combo in limit, grow an ether, use R's. So that's another item buffer, we draw an ether there.
Nice.
Do another combo. To another R's. Now we're gonna do one more combo, which will hit his revenge value.
Yeah, the
Guard
reason
break.
why this is good is because that pushes his revenge value so deep that he wants to do another set of vines.
Alright, this is getting scary because I got hit. That's the danger of doing that strat. Okay. Oh, we're
a little
both at
scary,
1
yeah.
HP.
Oh no, he got domed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but
don't skip.
anyone who's like maybe been desensitized to it and forgot, yeah, you cannot skip dome in the vanilla game. Now, what's scary about this is if Ninten ever drops an input, you can see Sora's at like $5 worth of HP. Riku's at 1.
Yeah.
Means he was dead going into it, so they revived him at 1 HP, which is like, in hindsight, very mean. But yeah, so if he ever drops an input, he's basically going to die. So hopefully we do not drop any X's and or triangles.
Alright, there we go.
There we
got
go.
it.
Nicely done. And now it's just going through the cutscene. I forgot how long this cutscene. I want to say from the start of Dome, it's like 75 seconds or something. You
Oh,
learn it
it's
playing rando, where you're
Yeah.
like, well,
I think it's 90.
it's like 90. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why like some people will like take a death there when they're like, oh, okay, I can really get this.
Just die, it's faster. Overall, really good run, actually. Everything went pretty well.
Yeah, that run was awesome.
Yeah, you got to see how, like, on Shan Yu, how easily things can go wrong. So there's also a few other moments where things could have went really badly. But as long as you react fast enough, you can take care of it.
Yeah,
And time is coming up right here in time.
And bam, into the limit. Very well done, gamer. That was sick. GG's.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thanks for having me
Ninten.
on. It was really fun.
Yeah, Ninten. Everybody, we're gonna. It's been a long day. We gotta get Aggie in here. Said we gotta do Elden Ring. Ninten, before I let you go, where can people find you? What projects are you working on now?
Right now, I've actually been running this category a lot because I'm trying to get the world record if possible. I want to actually shout out VG Master because he's really pushed the game really far. Because before him, Logic had all the records and people were pretty far away, but VG was able to beat him. So his run of level 1 is insane. Probably the best level 1 run I've ever seen. So yeah, and then I'm running this on my channel, twitch.tv/Ninten.
Hell yeah. Well, Ninten, thank you so much for joining us again. Everybody go give Ninten a follow. You like Kingdom Hearts content? There's not a better channel that you could be following. With that, gamers, we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, Aggie's going to show up to give our closer for day 1 here of T1.Done. Going to be doing some Elden Ring randomizer. It's going to be kooky. It's going to be nutty. We'll see y'all soon.